there.
Hello, welcome to another night of MTG Get There streams. Unfortunately, we were not around last week.
Yeah.
Some unfortunate things came up that prevented us from streaming.
Yeah, unfortunately, the person who runs most of the show here had to get called away for work-related matters, so they weren't here to, run the stream, and we can't exactly just impromptu throw one together without him around. So, unfortunately, we missed 1 week, but we're back here again with a little bit modern action here for you.
And, all right. I forgot my whole opening spiel. Unless something unexpected comes up, you can catch us here every Tuesday at 7:30.
Yep.
And, yeah, we got Modern tonight. So let's kind of run down the list. We got some Burn.
Yep.
We got Hardened Affinity, which I think saw some play at the Pro Tour this past weekend.
I think it saw some, though I don't think it really went all that deep. I was seeing a build of Miracles, and Miracles did do well over the weekend. Mardu Pyromancer has been a pillar of the format. I don't know how well it did at the Pro Tour over the weekend, but it's still a fine deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then
We got Sebastian on White-Black Taxes with some Eldrazi's, some Squids in there.
Yep.
We got you on Humans.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Humans is a deck that I'm sure everyone has seen quite a lot of, but I think the match is always interesting, especially seeing it against something like White-Black Taxes or Burn.
As you may notice, we're both getting to play tonight.
Yep.
So we'll be rotating with Harley for commentary.
Yep. So the first two matches are going to be done with myself and Kirby, who is talking here with me. Rounds 3 and 4 are going to be myself and Harley, who is playing Hardened Scales Affinity. And the final 2 rounds are going to be Kirby and Harley doing commentary. So we're going to have a little nice mix of commentators for you guys tonight. If there are any particular favorites or ones you aren't the biggest fan of, you get like nice little variety. So that being said, I think that we're just going to switch over to a little view of the first deck that we're seeing tonight, which is going to be the Hardened Scales Affinity list. And there it is.
So what makes this a little bit different from the normal Affinity builds is, well, its namesake, Hardened Scales. But it also runs Arcbound Worker. With Hardened Scales, it just makes it a 2/2. It also has modular like Arcbound Ravager. It's not as broken as Arcbound Ravager because you can't grow it by sacking creatures or sacking artifacts, but you can still move its counters around. But it basically focuses on counter-centric artifact creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your Steel Overseer, Arcbound Ravager, Worker, Walking Ballista, which is already just an all-star in a lot of colorless decks, and Hangerback Walker. You also see some interesting includes. We have Throne of Geth that lets you just proliferate everything that's going on. It's also another artifact sack outlet, and does a little bit more than Arcbound Ravager in this deck because
a lot of your creatures have counters, and if you have a Hardened Scales, then you're putting on 2 additional counters on each of your creatures, and that can snowball quite quickly.
You also have Evolutionary Leap, so you can dig a little bit more for more creatures. And interesting one, Sparring Construct. I haven't seen that in this build before.
Yeah, let me just go and get that pulled up real quick, so that way those at home can see it, because I'm not super familiar with the card myself. So, boop, boop, boop. There it is. So when it dies, you can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. So it's just another nice little enabler for your counter theme. It's a worse version of Arcbound Worker in the way that it doesn't get boosted from Hardened Scales when it enters the battlefield, but it still kind of plays that role a little bit for you. So,
also speaking of colorless all-stars, we have 4 Ancient Stirrings to dig for everything in the deck minus Leap and Hardened Scales.
Yeah. That card is very good in these type of decks, obviously. I do notice also that we're on 7 basics and 1 Pendlehaven is one thing that it's not super important in this, but it is interesting seeing an Infinity list that has this high account of basics and this low account of man lands.
This build isn't nearly as greedy as most Affinity builds.
Because you're 1 color, so you don't have to focus about having Glimmer Voids or Spire of Industries or anything like that.
Like the Mox Opals might be able to help you cast Gutshot or Dismember out of the sideboard if you want to save some life, but most of the time it's not going to matter.
Yeah. So, all right, and then on the other side, oh, we're gonna see him against Burn. And I'm going to get that pulled up. I think it's not necessarily the most traditional. Ooh, there it goes. All right, so got two Grim Lavamancers in the main board. Then you got your traditional sweep of just like Searing Blazes, Boros Charms, Lightning Bolts, Lava Spikes. Nothing super out of the norm here that I'm seeing.
Nope.
So
Just looks very, very
that's-
Burn.
yep, that's
Very to the face. The Searing Blaze main board, the 4X, are going to be really good for this matchup, as is Eidolon of the Great Rebel.
yeah. Those cards, if they come down at the right time, can be very impactful in this matchup. Though you do have to worry about how fast this Hardened Scales deck can go. So I think that with that, we are finished talking with the decks, and we can go and switch over to the feature match here.
Y'all can get started. I'm curious how fast this Hardened Affinity deck is versus just your traditional Affinity deck, because it doesn't have a bunch of zero drops. Like, you have Mox Opals. If you really want to, you can cast Hangerback and Walking Ballista for 0, but I don't foresee this deck doing it.
Yeah,
It's not Bridgevine.
yeah. Sorry, I had to fix. We had the names over the wrong people there at first. That's obviously Harley there on the right. Well, it's obvious to you, not necessarily obvious to anyone watching.
All right. Harley's still shuffling up.
Looks like, yeah, they're both just kind of shuffling and talking here.
Did you get to watch any of the Pro Tour this weekend?
I watched very little of it. I did watch the top 4 matches. Kind of fell in love with the blue-black Death Shadow list and Legacy.
Yes, I loved watching the Death and Taxes versus Death Shadow matchup. Those were really close. Had a lot of swingy plays, and
There were a few kind of like missteps towards the end of the tournament, but that's kind of to be expected with those long tournaments. But the listing's sweet, and I'm probably going to be bringing that to Richmond, provided I'm able to do all of that without any troubles.
yeah, I'm almost done building it. Funny enough, 'cause, it's going to be my first blue Legacy deck.
That's fair.
I don't count Dredge. It's got blue cards, but it's not a blue deck.
Dredge is not blue. Dredge is just, it's Dredge. There's no other term for that deck. No, it seems interesting, and it's relatively cheap except for the Underground Seas.
You guys can get started. I already said you could.
Oh my god. So they couldn't hear us apparently. And they're just kind of sitting there waiting for us, but we had already said something.
Alrighty.
Now, both these decks looking to be on the play here. This isn't a matchup that's very attrition-y. This is a lot of times going to be pretty straightforward. Ricky might be the more interactive deck here, but he still would prefer to be able to have the play so that way he can get a little bit of aggression down before Harley starts presenting threats to the board.
I feel like Harley's deck wants to try to go a little bit bigger than Ricky's deck in this matchup.
Yeah.
Harley's definitely not going to be the aggressor right off the bat.
Yeah, he's not, but he's going to be able to set up his swinging board state very quickly if he's not interacted with.
All right.
It looks like just saw a Goblin God attack there, and
We
then
drew a Walking Ballista for turn.
yep. And he just went ahead and threw down a 1/1.
Yep. Doesn't match up very well to Goblin Guide.
No, it does not, but this is just kind of one of his setup cards. And hoping that he can get a little something follows up to make it a little bit better. Still Overseer looking not bad, but with him on the draw, playing a turn 2 Still Overseer might be a little too slow considering he's already 11 life.
Okay. So now we have an Arcbound Ravager, and this matches up much better against Ricky's side of the board.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to chump block with the Worker, sacrifice it to move the counter over with Modular, and if needed, he can also sack the Darksteel Citadel.
Yeah. Now, if Ricky has any piece of removal, like a Lightning Bolt or anything like that, he can disrupt this pretty easily. Depending on how, as long as he plays it correctly.
Yeah. This ult does feel very fragile without the Hardened Scales to give that extra boost. Just playing kind of a bunch of X1s.
Yeah.
Harley reveals Inkmoth Nexus off Goblin Guide,
All right,
and
and
figuring out how he would like to block. Okay. Ravager gets a couple counters, one from the sack, one from modular.
now, small little thing. I do think it's interesting that he's choosing to put the Arcbound underneath the Monastery Swift Spear. Mostly because if Ricky were to throw 2 lightning bolts at Harley's face, Harley would be forced to sacrifice his Darksteel Citadel to keep it alive.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems like something I don't know that you really want to run into at this point.
I feel like Ricky should have also responded. He's holding a Lightning Helix and a Bolt, it looks like.
Yeah. I do think that he should have been a little bit better with his timing, but
Okay. Harley's going to sack Darksteel Citadel to Ravager to pump it up at a Bolt's way, but it's still going to exchange with the Monastery Swift Spear. That's probably the best exchange Harley can get there.
yeah. Though, that being said, knowing what Ricky's hand is looking like, Ricky is going to be able to still put Harley under quite a clock, and this Hangerback Walker isn't necessarily going to do enough to keep him alive.
Mm-hmm. Ricky's just going to go for the face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that he needs to go anywhere else but the face at this point. He has a handful of burn, and Harley's at 8 life.
So yeah, Ricky's holding Searing Blaze, Bolt, and a Lightning Helix.
Yep.
So if he just draws another land, he's going to be able to... he's going to be able to just kill Harley the following turn.
Yeah. Alright, there. So Harley's grabbing his Thopters. He didn't think to grab that beforehand, but here we are.
What's the chances that he plays one of his 4 Hangerbacks?
I know, right? It's pretty low.
Ooh, Pentaphytes.
They're basically Thopters.
They're basically Thopters.
And he agrees.
See? Alright, so back over to Harley. Not a great place for him right now.
No, it's certainly not looking great for him. He's facing down a lot of burn from Ricky's side, and his board state's looking kind of small right now.
Yep. Ricky's going to go ahead and just Lightning Helix to the face, putting Harley down to 5. And if he draws a land off the top, we're just another burn spell.
Yep, that's lethal right there. He just gonna throw 2 lightning bolts at the face, put Harley to -1, and win the game.
Okay. Kill him.
Yeah.
Don't slow roll it. Get him.
All right, well that was quick. That was fun. All right, so now they're gonna go to sideboards.
Okay. Let's bring up Harley's deck. Against burn, doesn't have many options. Like, I like the Shaper Sanctuary to draw him back cards off of any of his guys dying to burn. Honestly, I kind of like the Nature's Claim.
So I'm a
to
fan.
hit his own guys and gain some life.
So the Nature's Claim hits his own guys and gains some life, like you mentioned, and it can also hit the Eidolons on the opponent's side of the board.
That is true.
So I think I like that card a lot here, and the Shipper Sanctuary seems not bad as well. And then I could see,
Leap seems really bad in this matchup. It feels way too slow.
yeah, Evolutionary Leap seems like a super easy cut. And then Throne of Geth, I'm not for sure if I'm sold on it in this matchup specifically.
It also seems like a very slow, more grindy match.
Yeah.
Or if he wants to go a little bit bigger against another mid-range style deck.
Yeah, whereas I don't think you need to go quite that overboard. And if you want to bring in the full 5 cards we mentioned, you could cut one of your 6/1 drops or a Welding Jar if you really wanted to.
Okay.
Not much else there.
Head on over to Burn. And I see some good ones. Some really good ones. Some Revelries. All 4 of those.
Yep. And Searing Blood if you have the room for it. But I don't necessarily know that you do have the room.
I like it better than Skullcrack here.
Skullcrack is definitely the easy cut here, though you do have the 4 Destructive Revelries, and if you're bringing all 4 of those in, then that's a clean swap out. And then aside from that, I'm not sure what else you'd want to cut. You could cut down on Lava Spikes, but I feel like you don't want to like raise your curve that much. So I think that just bringing the Destructive Revelry seems correct here.
Yep.
So
seems perfectly reasonable.
That you could cut down on some number of Boros charms if you're more worried about interaction, since Searing Blood deals only 1 damage less, but allows you to interact with what the opponent's doing.
Hmm.
So, all right, well that was quick sideboard times. So
I'm noticing a theme with this match.
just quick,
Just quick.
yeah. Oh man, Salt Bastion in with the 5-month sub. Oh wait, 5 months in a row. Yeah, 5-month sub. Look you go. Proud of you. Good job on getting there.
He's in the other room. I was going to slow clap for him.
All right. Fine, guys. 6 months. Ooh, we're having like a little one-up each other thing. Everyone else
Yep.
should get on this. Just subscribe. Everyone do it. I'm not gonna do it. I think I'm already subscribed. I don't know. Twitch is weird. I'm not.
Okay. Players are all shuffled up.
Yep. All right, and Harley gonna be on the play here, so hopefully he'll be able to get a little more traction in the early games. That way he doesn't get quite run down as quickly.
Seeing Nature's Claim there. Like, definitely called that card coming in.
Yep. That's a pretty easy one call coming in.
Yep.
So. Oh yeah, they probably are waiting on us.
I guess you can start.
Oh my god, I forgot to start the timer. Alright, so we usually have a timer. I forgot to start it. It won't matter. This matchup's gonna be quick.
All right. Harley's starting off with Horizon Canopy. Yeah, and this is the awkward part of the deck. Like, you'll never be able to use Mox Opal on turn 1 here.
Yeah, that is true. You aren't running...
Like, you have to do...
So you can, in theory,
Oh, okay. So you do have the Welding Jars as
Yes.
other 0 drops. Or you could Darksteel Citadel plus Mox Opal plus play a 1-drop. But it's just so much more unlikely than for the normal Affinity build.
You're sacrificing some of the explosiveness that regular Affinity has. Some of the consistent explosiveness, because Hardened Scales Affinity can have some really explosive hands. And ones are even more explosive than regular Affinity. But you're kind of sacrificing some of that consistency by losing all of your 0 drops, losing your cranial platings, etc.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like bad Affinity.
I mean, it has some benefit, I think.
Cog Whistle, thank you for getting there. Appreciate the follow.
Always great to have someone else on board for the Get There stream.
Like, the explosiveness of Affinity is what tends to make it so good.
Yeah, so you're able to like win a lot of matchups just off the merit of just being able to do so many things so early on, and it feels like this deck can get a little bit more clogged up in the early game.
Mm-hmm. And Ricky puts out an Eidolon of the Great Revel, which is going to be a little difficult for Harley. He did have a 4-drop with a Hangerback Walker on 2.
Yep.
But that's going to be one of few options he has.
And I'm not even sure how great that Hangerback Walker is going to be here, and it looks like it's not going to be very good at all, considering there's going to be a Searing Blaze that just goes ahead and eats it here.
Yep.
So Ricky will take 2. The Hangerback Walker will die. Ricky can't attack in this turn because he doesn't want to trade off his Eidolon, or at least I don't imagine he wants to. Like, he is taking a lot of damage off it, but I think it hurts Harley more at this point.
Yep. Like, even playing that Lava Spike, it's better for him to go ahead and do that take 2, but deal 3 to Harley.
Yeah. And now a large percentage of Harley's deck, aside from like Walking Ballistas and Hangerback Walkers, will deal him damage when he casts them, so...
Yeah. Well, speaking of
Walking Ballistas, one of the best possible draws there. Now, we could go in for the bait here and swing him for 2, and then if Harley tries to... well, no, if he swings him for 2, then Harley will just...
I like this. I like swinging right here. Because Ricky's going to be able to finish him off in 2 turns either way.
That's fair.
He's got double Boros Charm and a Lightning Bolt. So he goes ahead, swings in, puts Harley in a situation where, like, if he doesn't block, Ricky's like, okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
If he does block, Ricky's also fine with that.
Yeah, I think that Ricky's just feeling pretty fine right now.
Ricky's actually probably better off getting his Eidolon off the table.
Yeah, because it takes away that threat of Harley killing him.
Okay. Harley decides to kill the Eidolon. And Ricky's just going to sit back and wait.
Now, weird little thing that could have came up. I believe I heard Harley say that he just went ahead and shot the Eidolon for damage.
Yes.
By doing that, he allows himself to get, if Ricky wanted to save it with a Boros Charm, he could.
Mm-hmm. All right. And time for the 1-2-3 knockout.
Yep. Unless Harley has a Nature's Claim, he is going to be dead here.
Which he does.
And I don't think that Ricky has another 1-mana burn spell.
Hard to tell. I know he does have a 2-mana burn spell.
Yeah, 2-mana burn spell doesn't help him this turn, and there's a chance that he's dead on this following turn.
So he is at 9. 1, 2, 3.
He's
4, 5, 6 on Harley's side of the board.
And one thing, Harley choosing not to sacrifice his Horizon Canopy in every turn here.
Yeah, that was a little surprise. Oh, okay. So now Harley's just able to play the Hardened Scales
And just win the
and
game,
put
yeah.
enough counters on it.
Yeah. Sacrifice this Mox Opal, poke
Yeah,
the 7.
this might have been a situation where Ricky should have just waited, and that would have allowed him to Destructive Revelry.
Yeah, that is something he could have done. He got a little overexcited and just went ahead and cracked it there when he didn't necessarily need to. And so now we're going to go on down to Game 3, and I'm going to actually update that.
Yeah, operating the stream and commentating at the same time is still something we're getting used to.
It's also one of those things where like that one little week kind of threw me off on things.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be fine next round. I'll get the round timer down and all that. And then when Harley comes around, it'll be a mess, but in a different way.
So what made you want to play humans tonight?
I mean, it's one of the main decks in Modern. It's a deck I'm considering playing for the next couple Modern events. And
Bugler is also really good for the deck.
Bugler's really good for the deck. I think it's just it seems really fun to play. I like decks that have high amounts of technical play to them. Though the little bit of testing I've done with it, I'm not enjoying as much as I've enjoyed Affinity in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also because Affinity is just kind of super technical to a degree that's kind of unusable for any other creature deck. So...
But they're just going to keep printing good humans.
They are gonna. It's
not going to stop.
They're not gonna stop printing good humans, and they don't print good
There's
enough
humans
artifacts
on every plane.
Yeah, every plane except for Lorwyn.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They did skip humans there.
I only know this because it came up in a conversation like last week.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, humans. They're a popular tribe.
I guess elementals kind of took the human part. They were the most humanoid.
Kithkins?
I don't know. Not a Kithkin fan. I just kind of blocked them out of my memory.
I'm not a fan of Kithkins, but they're the most human. Like, they're basically just small humans. Like...
They look like dolls that have come alive, especially with their large glowy eyes.
They leave something to be desired considering how pretty the rest of the plane is.
All right. Harley mull down to 6. Hoping to draw something a little bit better.
Elves are pretty human-like.
Oh, there were elves. Okay.
Yeah, the elves were
I completely blanked. Yeah.
The elves were super conceited.
Yes, they were.
I kind of love them, but...
It's nice having those different flavors of elves.
Yeah. No, I actually really like the Lorwyn elves and also the Lorwyn fairies, obviously.
Mm-hmm. No, I was thinking of elementals like Ashling.
He was thinking of the 3 human-like elementals, and he was like, yeah,
not
those
like
ones.
Iconic ones like Muldrifter, no. Of course not.
All right. Well, this is looking like a not bad start for Ricky here.
Mm-hmm. He's still got plenty of burn in his hand.
His hand looks kind of clunky, mostly 2 drops, but I think that's fine here. He does have a Destructive Revelry, a Lightning Helix, and a
He's
Lightning
also
Bolt.
got a bolt.
Yeah. Our hand's got some play to it. Flicker Wisp is pretty human-like.
Yep.
Like, when I don't get myself ready for work in the mornings enough, like, I kind of look like a Flicker Wisp.
The thing always looks kind of like a moth. So now I'm just picturing you like going up to the window and just like slamming your face on the window. Is that your morning routine?
Yeah, let's say it is.
All right, Ricky swinging in with Goblin Guide and Swift Spear.
And we know that Still Overseer is not long for this world. And it looks like Harley's going to get beta out here with the modular trigger. And okay, he's activating his Inkmoth Nexus, I see.
Mm-hmm.
I like that play.
Right. Now Ricky does need to make a decision here with what he wants to Destructive Revelry.
I don't think it's a decision.
Pretty sure it's the Overseer.
Yeah. Like, it's neat to kill one of his creatures and his Mana Source, but, like, Still Overseer just snowballs so quickly, especially in a deck with Hardened Skulls.
Yeah. And the Hardened Affinity deck doesn't have a problem with lands like normal Affinity.
Yeah. And it's like, this isn't even that great, but he's going to have a 2/2 Hangerback Walker, a 2/2 Inkmoth Nexus, and he's going to be in a not terrible shape as far as his board is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Ricky still has a lot of points of burn just to go to the face. Like, even around Harley's Nature's Claim that he revealed to Ricky.
So, Ricky can go ahead and force through some good damage here. He can just go ahead and snap off the Destructive Revelry on that Still Overseer. Get in for 2 damage additionally, and then that puts Harley down to 6, and he has 2 burn spells in hand, so he can guarantee lethal next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since he didn't go for the Destructive Revelry before blockers, Harley could choose to stop this line by going ahead and blocking with the Still Overseer, but it looks like Harley's not going to make that play.
All right. Now Ricky's going to respond before damage to trigger Prowess.
Yeah.
And let's get rid of that Steel Overseer this time.
Yeah. Just go and Destructive Revelry that, puts Harley down to 8, then he'll take 2 more going down to 6.
Now Harley can respond here and Nature's Claim his Steel Overseer, which he is. And that basically makes up for 7 points
Now,
of life.
I believe Ricky's going to go for a Lightning Bolt just to make it so he gains 1 less life this way. Well, he gains 3 life. Yeah.
He decides not to.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now he did.
Never mind.
So yeah, basically that Lightning Bolt dealt 4 damage because it stopped the Nature's Claim.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Harley's setting up a good low defense here, but he does have to worry about how low his life total has gotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ricky has a Lightning Helix and, I believe, a Searing Blaze in hand?
Yeah, if he has a Searing Blaze, he should go ahead and fire that off now.
Mm-hmm.
And with how Searing Blaze is worded, even if the creature leaves the battlefield, it still will deal the 3 damage to the player.
All right.
So, he's blocking the Swift Spear here. Ricky can save it by casting a single spell. Looks like he's choosing to cast a Lightning Helix, going at Harley's face, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Going on, shoot the Goblin Guide. Seems reasonable. And now, if Ricky wants to use that Searing Blaze, he should use it now to get that additional damage in. Because, yeah.
It looks like he's deciding to wait so he can still get his Prowess off Swift Sphere.
So
I agree with you. Like, well, are we certain it's
if it's not Searing Blaze,
it
then
might not be a Searing Blaze. It might be another Revelry.
okay. If it's another Revelry, then this is totally fine.
It's another revelry.
Okay. Ignore previous comment then. Is that another burn spell? Nope, that is a land.
Yeah.
And I think Ricky should probably just hold this land here. Helps turn on his Searing Blazes for free.
Yeah.
And at this point, it doesn't hurt to be representing more things in hand, even though Harley realistically can't play around much at this point.
So this is a little weird. I don't know if attacking is correct for Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's going to put more counters on the Pentavites or the Inkmoth Nexus.
Yeah. So, not a huge fan of it here. Ricky can choose to save his Monastery Swift Spear by popping off that Destructive Revelry on some artifact that doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Harley's board is just kind of all assorted things that don't really do a ton.
Okay. So Ricky decides not to cast anything pre-combat so that he could figure out where the counter is going to go. And then Destructive Revelry the target from the modular.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I think that the Monastery Swift Spear isn't all that important of a resource at this point, so I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I'm not sure if we have the infect thing working at the moment. Nope, that's not. That's not. Don't do that. Don't do that with the die. There we go. Alright, cool.
Yeah. Well, Ricky just needs a burn spell off the top.
Yeah. And I'm feeling like if he didn't do anything there, he probably doesn't have a burn spell.
Yep. Looks like it was probably correct killing the one Inkmoth Nexus.
Now, I feel like Harley's being far too conservative with his creatures in play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's a chance that one or both of your Inkmoth Nexus die at some point, and you can attack with at least one creature here.
Ricky is holding on to an Eidolon right now because he seems to be worried about Harley going, trying to kill him with regular combat damage and accidentally killing himself. I find that kind of strange.
I don't
think it's hurting him because Harley's going to be winning by infect and he's not going to be casting any other spells.
So in theory, most of the spells you cast would just... Okay, there we go.
All right.
So
finally drew it.
That's a 2-0 for Ricky there. Now we're going to go ahead and see the Hardened Scales Affinity list again, only this time it's going to be going against Blue-White Miracles.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Miracles deck real quick. And
while you're doing that, I'm going to have them swap sides to match our pairings.
Okay. Alright, so I have the Miracles list pulled up, and one thing that's been kind of a big thing about Miracles list recently is that there's been a lot of different play as to what people are running. A lot of different one-ofs, a lot of flex spots. I don't even know if you call it flex spots because I don't think there's like a guaranteed number on anything. Aside from like the Teferis, the Terminus, the Termini, the Cryptics.
Terminus.
It's not great how you say Terminus in the plural.
Welcome to English language.
Yes, not the biggest fan of it.
Just make everything phonetic.
I had a conversation come up today where someone was trying to spell werewolf, but English wasn't their native language, so they spelled it W-A-R-E-W-O-L-F, and it's just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense with one of our rules.
With one of our many rules that contradict each other.
You could also do W-E-A-R, wolf.
You could do W-H-E-R-E. There are so many ways.
Where is the wolf?
Where is that wolf? Anyways, yeah, Miracles. So this list has 1 Timely Reinforcement, it's 1 Negate, 1 Detention Sphere, 4 Ops, 4 Searing Visions, 4 Pats. Nothing, like, it's, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to build this deck right now. I don't think there's an exact 75 settled on at the moment. So,
It's a
And
control deck. Like, it'll just slightly modify some of its cards as the meta
yeah,
shifts.
it seems interesting. I wasn't super blown away by it, but apparently it's not a bad deck, so we're going to see how it does against the Hardened Scales Affinity. Blue-white control decks traditionally being not terrible against Affinity. Jeskai being a little bit better because you have better removal, but we'll see how this goes.
You're good to start. Oh, good old Sean.
Now, he asked, could we start after you said?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I don't know if he's
Yep.
missed. Okay.
Yep. It's Sean.
Okay.
Sean's got a interesting sense of humor. For anybody not familiar with him,
Sean
which should
is...
be a majority of our viewers.
He has a way of doing things that's a little weird. He is known for keeping track of his life and using dice weirdly as something that's...
Chat has an answer for us. The plural of terminus is platypi.
Platypi?
Platypi.
Great. I'm not going to remember that.
Mm.
I'm going to trip over it a lot.
All right. Sean has one of his platypi in his hand.
Yeah. Doesn't mind having that in his hand. At some point, he might be able to Jace it to the top and Platypi are not bad in this matchup.
All right. So Harley starts off with a Ancient Stirrings and grabs one of his many cards in his deck.
Yep.
I actually missed what he grabbed.
I super missed it as well. I think it was that Walking Ballista. And that Walking Ballista, it's actually an interesting card here because it's something that kind of pressures Sean by itself, and it also feels bad to use a Path to Exile on.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one thing that this deck kind of has going against it, is that you don't have a ton of efficient removal that cost low amounts of mana.
Stuff like Electrolyze, which the Jeskai deck was playing, would be perfect for this situation.
Yeah.
Because you can just go 1-1 and draw a card.
Electrolyze, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Helix. You're missing out on a bunch of lower cost removal spells that are efficient at dealing with one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you sacrifice that to gain more removal spells that deal with multiple things. But in these types of situations where you're worried about one threat that's kind of small-ish, it feels bad to only be running 4 target removal spells.
Mm-hmm. So Sean follows up with a Serum Visions, decides to keep one on top, one on bottom, and passes it back over to Harley.
Yep. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and throw down a Welding Jar and then look at his hand for a little bit.
Neat.
All right. Yeah. There we go.
Okay. Coming in.
All right. So the Welding Jar here, kind of mediocre against blue-white, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It prevents the Supreme Verdicts in the deck, but aside from that, it doesn't really prevent much else. And it looks like Sean's just going to blow a Terminus to handle that singular Walking Ballista here.
It's better than it's sitting in his hand.
Yeah. Like, it makes sense, and it's effectively just a Path Exile in this exact scenario.
Like, without Jace, he doesn't have another way to put it back on top of his deck, correct?
Yes, that is correct. He doesn't have access to anything like Brainstorm to put cards back on top, so he is kind of left with these things stuck in his hand.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Sean's trying to figure out if he wants to respond to the Sparring Construct.
So
he chooses not to.
He could have went ahead and popped off a path on the Arcbound Ravager in response. It looks like
he is.
He is. So this means
Takes
that...
you backsies.
Yeah. And by doing this, Harley doesn't have the ability to move counters anywhere. So...
Mm-hmm. Sean's going to opt, put it on the bottom, draw a card, and untap. Yeah, this is a lot different from our last matchup where we just have two people racing each other for damage.
Yep.
Now what's the opposite of race?
A grind.
Yeah.
And this, not traditionally, but in this exact circumstance.
Yeah, it's not an attrition grind. It's like a card advantage grind. Resources grind. Oh no, that would be attrition.
Thank you. Oh, shoot. No, that doesn't work. Wait, does it
No.
work? No, it doesn't work. Oh, I can't pull it up. That's unfortunate. I was going to pull up the bad draft comment here, but that feature is currently having some
yeah.
issues.
It's a 1/1 for 1.
And it
When it
dies.
dies, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on another creature you control.
That card is modern playable, boys. It's being played in
currently
modern.
being played in a modern deck on the stream. I'll meet you there.
I heard modern playable. So jokes aside about Harley's deck here, yeah, Miracles is it's pretty slow.
It's not a great matchup for him. Also, Sean's playing 4 Field of Ruin
Yeah,
to deal with all of his man lands.
yeah. Four Field Ruins are kind of necessary here with your going back to your main removal spells being sorcery speed, board wipes. Aside from when you opt into a Terminus, it kind of leaves you in a position where you have a weakness to man lands, and Field of Ruins kind of handle that slot as well as handling Tron lands. Oh my God! Did I forget the timer again?
Yeah, we're going to need it this round.
Yeah.
There we go. That's fine.
Is there a way to...
They got a few extra minutes.
Yeah, they got like 5 extra minutes. That was my bad. And it looks like we're going to see another Terminus. This is exciting.
Neat.
So that is 2 down,
That is 2 Platypi.
leaving him with only 2 Platypi left in deck, and then 1 Supreme Verdict, correct?
Is he running a playset?
Yeah, he's running a set of
Okay.
Platypi,
That's fair.
and 1 Supreme Verdict, so 5 board wipes total.
Alright, so... See another bad draft common. And a Steel Overseer.
Now, one thing that from the Affinity side, when you're trying to play through this matchup, you have to consider exactly how much pressure to put down and how much pressure to hold back. You want to kind of force your opponent to board wipe, feel like they're forced to board wipe if they have it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have it, you also want to have enough left in play to present something of a threat the following turn. And it becomes a very tricky situation to work through because sometimes you're not able to play around everything they could possibly have.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, a lot of times you're forced to play into either play into a removal spell or play into a board wipe.
Okay. So I have an interesting situation coming up. Harley was just asking somebody a question. Basically, Sean activated Field of Ruin targeting the Inkmoth Nexus, and then Harley was able to activate the Inkmoth Nexus and regenerate it using his welding jar. But we still get to resolve the Field of Ruin.
Yes.
It's not like it's gaining hexproof or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but Harley basically just goes up a land by pitching that Field of Ruin.
And then after that, Sean went ahead and used a second Field of Ruin to destroy the Inkmoth Nexus anyway.
Mm-hmm. Though I don't know how much is going to matter just due to the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably nice for Harley to have a bunch of basics that he could go search up.
Yeah. In this exact circumstance, being able to make it so you're not getting shut off on mana does help. Though at this point in the game, I don't think... Well, he does have Hanger Backwalkers, and Walking Bliss doesn't care about mana.
And we got Teferi. This is going to allow Sean to draw a card, untap some lands, and keeps up Snapcaster with Path to Exile.
Yep. Feeling pretty good for him here. Once you're able to land a Teferi on the board, it kind of starts snowballing when you're playing the blue-white X control deck in Modern.
Mm-hmm. Now, Harley really needs to get that Teferi off the board or it's going to get out of hand. I think he's going to be put in a situation where he needs to activate the Blinkmoth Nexus
Yes.
and attack in on Teferi.
Yeah. One thing that I see a lot of people do in Modern is they kind of under-prioritize Teferi. Even if you're playing an aggressive deck like this, you care about the Teferi.
Mm-hmm. Harley's going to be able to take a couple counters off of it if he attacks with both Blinkmoth and Sparring Construct.
Mm-hmm.
But this path is really going to mess things up, and Sean's going to be able to follow it up with a Terminus from his hand.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really good point for Sean. He's going to be able to clean up the board be left with a bunch of mana and an active Teferi, and Harley's going to be left with basically nothing.
Have you gotten to see a modern game with Teferi where they just loop Teferi yet?
I
I know it's a common thing in Standard.
So I had a situation come up where I was playing someone in just like a weekly modern event,
Mm-hmm.
and they were playing Lantern Control, and I got to a point where we were talking about who would win the match from this point, and I was like, yeah, I'll win the match because I have a Teferi emblem, and I can loop Teferi, and they didn't know about the loop because they only play modern,
Mm-hmm.
and so I explained it to them, and then they conceded. So I didn't get to have it happen, but I almost had it happen.
All right. And there's Terminus. And Harley's going to be able to take a couple more counters off Teferi, but
Unfortunately, that Teferi is going to be left at one counter, which still alive and still allowing Sean to get all that card advantage he wants.
yep. And this has become a very one-sided game here.
Yeah.
Now Sean just needs to do something to finish it.
I mean, he has that Susto Colonnade, and if Harley doesn't put anything down, that is a clock.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that Teferi isn't an actual clock, but the game is quickly going out of Harley's reach the longer that Teferi stays in play.
All right, Sean's going to draw another card, figure out how he wants to dispatch of this Steel Overseer.
Like, he has ample ways of handling it.
Yep. He can Snapcaster Path, he can waste a Supreme Verdict. Whatever.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't even actually have to kill it here because Harley won't be able to attack the following turn because he could leave up the Suster Colonnade, but it looks like he's not going to do that.
It's going to do a little drawing. And, yep. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Sean's having fun.
Sean's having fun. I do not think Harley's having a ton of it.
Well, that just means Sean's having more fun, right?
Yes.
The less fun that Harley's having.
Now, Harley just passing it back here, and that makes Sean's play of next turn playing Snapcaster Terminus really strong. Or just Snap Path here.
Yep.
All of these things work.
Sean's got to be careful, though. So Harley gets to Pendlehaven and then put counters on it if he
Yeah.
tries to swing in with that Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, I mean,
But Sean has a path anyway, so it doesn't matter.
if he gets sloppy, he could get punished by losing his 2-1, but it doesn't
Yep.
even matter, really.
Oh no, woe is Sean.
Yeah. That's kind of the thing that I love about this deck is that you win, but man, like, you win the game and then you just kind of do nothing for a little bit, but you've already won the game.
Mm-hmm. He's like, here, just, you lost. Please
Yeah.
scoop.
Yeah, Sean was holding a Cryptic Command and a Snapcaster Mage, and at that point, that means that Harley could actually do nothing with the 0 cards he had in hand. So, we're going to go and switch over to the Harden Affinity list first, and go ahead and talk about that sideboarding. So, sideboard-wise,
I like the Nissa Voices Endikar. That way he can keep making dudes every turn, and then he can put +1/+1 counters on it.
yeah. So,
I think the relics are fine. It is able to take some things out of Sean's graveyard for Snapcaster Mage, or to make sure Search for Azcanta doesn't flip right away.
yeah.
And it cantrips. Like I know I give people a lot of crap for stuff like Surgical Extraction and bringing in
Yeah,
incidental graveyard hate, but it cycles.
yeah.
At worst, it cycles.
So, one thing that's kind of a thing to note is that Shaper Sanctuary in Harley sideboard is really good against Jeskai control because they run a bunch of target removal, and this is something we had talked about earlier. But Sean's list only runs 4 pieces of targeted removal, which makes the Shaper Sanctuary feel like a lot worse plan to be on, and it becomes questionable whether or not you even want it in the deck.
Somewhere between 4 and 8. Or, I guess 4 and 7. There's 3 Snapcaster Mages.
Yeah. and you do have to consider when you're sideboarding here also if you want to bring in any number of nature's claims, as things like Detention Sphere and Stony Silences are a realistic possibility from the opponent's side. So,
Okay.
yeah. And we
Head
can...
on over to control. Spoilers, they have all the answers.
Yep. In this exact case, they don't have a ton of great cards, but they do have 2 Stony Silences and another board wipe on the sideboard.
How do you
And
like the timely reinforcements here?
I don't really care for it that much.
You want that in a more mid-rangey matchup?
More mid-rangey or more straight aggressive, and Hurley's list doesn't feel like it's a straight aggressive matchup.
No. We definitely saw in the first round that Harley just can't keep up with Burn.
Yeah.
He can be put into a fortunate situation, especially with Nature's Claim to take over that game, but he's not going to be fighting straight out of the gates.
Yeah. I'm also a fan of Baneslayer Angel here. Personally, it feels like a strong card. As far as things I'm not a huge fan of, I'm not the biggest fan of Glimmer of Genius. It feels too slow in this matchup. Timely Reinforcements can be taken out of the main board, honestly. And Negate feels like your weakest counterspell, as well as Vendalian Click feeling kind of weak. Aside from that, Search for Escanta is the only other thing that I think is worth mentioning for cuts. A lot of your deck is kind of at its core where you want to be doing. So you don't have a ton of spots in this type of matchup to cut. So.
Okay. Let's head on down. You guys can start.
And post-board, I feel like this gets just better for Sean here. Harley not really getting to bring anything in, whereas Sean is getting to bring in multiple silver bullets for this matchup.
All right.
And there's that relic you were talking about.
Yep. Seems fine, especially on turn 1. The other advantage that Harley has, and we should probably fix those life totals, because I don't think they're starting at 10 and 15.
No. All right, yeah. So it's also a little weird to control it because the mouse starts freaking out. There we go. Bam.
Let's make Harley really miserable, and we start him at 40 life each.
I mean, yeah.
But the other advantage to Relic here is you can sack it to your Ravagers.
You can't sacrifice it to your
It also
Ravagers.
turns on your Mox Opal.
If you left in your Throne of Geth, it also can be sacrificed to that.
All right. So Harley's not really establishing any threats. He's just activating relics.
Sure. So he's going to activate that relic, and he's going to activate another relic. And he's just going to keep doing this.
Yep.
This is effectively going to turn off
Sean
Snap
can't
Pulse
win
Mage.
without a graveyard, right? Oh, there's that timely reinforcements.
All right, so the timely reinforcements doesn't look bad here.
Yeah. Harley had some not kind words to say to that.
And honestly, even though it looks really good right now, I still am not completely sold on that. It's not.
That's fair. It's a lot better early game.
Jesus Christ. I'm dying.
It's a lot better early game since Harley does have a lot of X1s.
All right, they
So
figured out how it
Harley
works.
can't attack profitably.
Yeah.
They grabbed the white pile of tokens.
Yeah, someone just came up
Good
and was
job.
like, look at the white pile. And he's like, what do you mean?
Corey's like, smack, smack, smack. What are you doing?
I don't think he realizes that they're alphabetically sorted either.
Corey is like the silent type that carries a big stick.
Yeah. All right, there we go. We got it. Found
there.
the line.
Oh, man. He
Oh.
got there.
Oh man, he's
Found some.
figuring it out so hard.
And Harley kept in the Thronogeth.
So, a big problem right now from Harley's side is he's not
Doing
doing anything. Like at all.
He
And
should be doing stuff.
he should be
Doing
stuff.
stuff is a very good way to try to win the game.
I've heard. And not doing things is going to look real awkward now that there's that Jace.
Yeah.
Now, Harley can kill the Jace.
Yeah.
Because if he sacrifices the his one drop to the Throne of Geth,
Yep.
then the counter will be put on to the manland before
The proliferate works.
before the proliferate works. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Sean got one of his soldiers.
Oh man, how will Harley win? I don't feel like that attack was necessary. Also, from Sean's side,
He's got to win the game eventually, right?
he can curve Jason to Teferi. I don't think he really cares. Alright, so he went ahead and popped his relic here, and by doing that, that means that he's not able to kill the Jace this turn.
Oh,
And there's a Terminus. That explains the attack a little bit more, also.
Ooh, that seems like a big misplay to Harley. Like, he could have activated his Blink Moth and sacked it to Throne of Geth, unless he's worried about it getting pathed right now.
What?
So, Harley decided to put his guy on the bottom with Terminus.
Okay.
Instead, he could have made that play you were mentioning
Okay.
by activating Blink Moth,
In response to the
sacking
Terminus.
it to the Throne of Geth.
Okay.
Well, no.
In response
Was
to the Terminus. Is the point that I'm...
Oh, yeah, you got me. You got me. I was also wondering, like, I thought the Throne of Geth was tapped.
It was tapped last turn.
Okay.
And I gotta say, this deck looks clunky.
Yeah. You get to ask Harley all about it.
Like, normally Affinity doesn't look great in this matchup, but you can occasionally win by just killing them before the Supreme Verdict turn,
Mhm.
or at least getting them down to like range of 1 or 2 Galv Blast. But here you're just kind of trying to play the late game with this blue-white deck, and boy, that's not great.
Yeah, so Harley sacked his other Darksteel Citadel to proliferate the counters on his Walking Ballista, and I got 2 because of Hardened Scales, and then he threw 3 of them at Jace,
Yep.
and then allowed it to get pathed so that he could get a land back.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess that put Harley in a good situation.
Did it. Does this feel like a good situation?
It doesn't.
Okay.
And then Sean has an active Field of Ruin.
He has an active Field of Ruin to show off the one attacker Harley has. He has an active Teferi to start getting that card advantage. And, okay. That's
Well,
something.
This is a good time for Sean to respond with the Field of Ruin.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. Yeah, the Leap seems fine in this matchup, because it also blanks a bunch of Sean's removal.
Yeah. One big problem I'm having right now with all the cards he has in play that are like...
There aren't creatures.
Yeah, so he has a bunch of cards that are good at getting value in the matchup, but he's not doing anything with that value. You do not.
No.
Okay. So, one little rules thing is that if you target something, target a main lane with Field of Ruin, and your opponent tries to activate in response, the Shaper Sanctuary won't trigger because it triggers when the permanent is first targeted. So, since it was first targeted as a land, it won't cause the trigger.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He's going to use that mana to activate the other Blink Moth and leap it to get an Arcbound Ravager.
And while the Arcbound Ravager is not terrible here, it's still not doing a ton.
It's not going to turn this game around.
No, it's not even close.
Sean's got a fistful of cards, active Teferi, nothing on Harley's side of the board to interact with the Teferi.
Yeah.
It's
Sean has all the time in the world here and really all the resources he needs. So
If I were to guess a bad matchup for this deck,
yeah, this feels like
Miracles would be up there.
yeah. Having access to so many board wipes and then all these other just really good things at handling what you're doing just feels so strong. And like right now, Harley doesn't even. I mean, sorry, Sean doesn't even have a Stony Silence, but it doesn't really matter. He's just using his main board cards, and they're all really strong.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question for you with Teferi.
Sure.
So the plus ability, when you hit the end step, you have to untap 2 lands.
Yes.
Why can't you choose lands that are already untapped?
Because
Like, is there specifically a rule in the comprehensive rules that mentions, like, you cannot actually, like, within the game's rules, untap something that's already untapped?
So it's kind of, from what I understand, it's one of those the way Teferi's board is really weird, and it kind of just falls into, yeah, like you said, you can't tap something that's already tapped for certain activation costs, and in this case, it says specifically to untap it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really weird. Like, it's one of those Magic rules that I understand from a rules perspective, but I don't necessarily think it makes the most sense.
Because a lot of times on Magic cards, it calls out, it's like, untap target tapped permanent or whatnot.
Yeah, and it
or
just
vice
says untap
versa.
it. Yeah. It is definitely kind of strange.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sean's going to go ahead and Terminus here to get that Arcbound Ravager off the board. And he's just buying time for his Teferi.
Yeah, once that Teferi pops its ultimate, he's going to be able to quickly just eat anything Harley could put in play.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
This is going to set it back a little bit.
now this is a pretty not bad 1-2 punch. But it looks like in response to the Walking Ballista, the Arcbound Ravager is just going to be met with the Path to Exile.
And Harley has potential to hit Teferi up to 4 times.
He does have potential to do that. So
Doesn't feel great with having to get rid of the Thronogeth, but
I think you have enough other things to get you that type of value, and Thronogeth just feels like I don't think that you have a lot of resources that you're okay with sacrificing at this point.
mm-hmm. Sean's got a bunch of lands.
He does have a bunch of lands, but I don't think that matters a ton here,
And a search.
which is another land, but a really good land. Oh, he's thinking. So, I'm not a huge fan of down-ticking on anything here.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, just plus that, draw a card. What we seeing?
Stony Silence.
Oh, hey.
That's going to force Harley's hand.
Yeah.
So this is a good time to sack that Thronogeth.
Yep. So,
The question is, does he ping or does he just leave it? It looks like he's going to decide just to leave it.
yep. Now this does put Sean in a position where if he's able to handle that Walking Ballista, his Teferi is going to be safe for an ult the next turn.
It looks like Sean's just going to keep everything back.
Yeah.
That way he can block with a Celestial Colonnade
I
and
think-
trade.
I think at this point, protecting your Teferi is one of the most important things you can do.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and he'll untap 2 lands end of turn, so he'll be able to untap with the active Search for Roscanta and active Teferi and multiple man lands in play. I don't think that Harley's going to be able to win this game.
Unless Harley has removal of some sort, which I don't believe he does. Ooh.
Okay. Okay. I can dig that. So this play is going to allow him to kill off the Celestial Colonnade by activating the ability once, playing up to 6, and then killing the Colonnade.
That was pretty clutch.
So was pretty clutch, and he's
Right.
able to keep that Teferi off of ultimate, which is very important here.
Sean's able to flip his Search for Roscanta.
Now, the chances that Sean's able to find something to handle this Walking Ballista now are extremely high. He has the active combination of Search for Roscanta Teferi, which means he's getting to see 3 cards per turn off of just those 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. He also has a Glimmer of Genius if he needs to dig even further.
Yeah. He has a ton of card advantage. It looks like he sees a board wipe amongst the cards he's looking at. Or two of them. And a Cryptic Command.
Seems fun.
Seems pretty good here. I think that now's the time. Just go ahead and pick up that Supreme Verdict and kill that Walking Ballista while you can.
I agree. It looks like he's about to pick Terminus?
The Terminus is...
That doesn't seem correct.
No.
There we go.
There. Yeah.
We got there.
Yeah, we figured out the line. Thankfully. So, goes ahead and has an uptick here. And is that a Snapcaster Mage? Kind of looks like one.
He's going to take 2. He's got plenty of life. He doesn't mind. And Harley's going to shoot Teferi a few times. Sean's going to untap his search.
Yep.
And this is over.
Yeah. Like...
Harley's flailing over there, but he's...
Sean still has to, like, win the game, but, like, he's not pressured to do it quickly.
No. And he's at 25 life.
He's at 25 life. He has literally all the card advantage he could need. And all the mana he needs.
We'll just slowly get to that ultimate again.
Yeah. Now, Harley is going to be able to present some amount of at least one threat per turn with a combination of the Evolutionary Elite plus the creatures he has, but I don't think that matters a ton here.
Sean debating if he wants to do anything. And this does slow down Sean's clock.
It does slow down his clock.
Well, no, he has another
bit.
Celestial Colonnade. So it's not a big deal. I thought Harley was going to try to keep the counter on it, but there's no point if Sean has 2 Celestial Colonnades.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to get a Hangerback Walker. That one's a little bit more annoying to deal with, but Sean's just going to be able to either hit another board wipe off of Search or just Snapcaster back one.
Yeah. And
Harley's still trying. I
He's-
give him credit.
he's
but
trying. Now, this Hangerback is being thrown out there with no way
he
of...
should probably just get countered.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
Counter that, draw a card, or...
That way Harley also can't pitch it to the green
Evolutionary
fan,
Leap.
Evolutionary Leap.
Yeah. And now Harley's getting hit for 4. This Teferi is getting activated. And then we're seeing something else get thrown down. Oh,
Another
a Stony Silence.
Silence.
That's pretty good.
Okay. What you got, Harley? Stirrings?
Stirrings is one of the better cards in your deck in this situation. That's not what you want to see at all.
Ooh.
It's a 1/1.
But he hit.
He did hit.
That'd be
And-
a fun Stirrings if he actually missed.
I mean, yeah.
Hit like
Hit one.
3 Hardened Scales and 2 of his other Ancient Stirrings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a ton of non-colorless permanent stuff in his deck, but that would be pretty hot. Is there a way that he lives?
I don't think so.
No. He can even activate 2 mana. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
dead. Even if he has a Nature's Claim, he's still dying here.
Does he have 2 Nature's Claims?
Ooh.
No, he's leaping.
Okay.
All right.
So that was the win for Sean there, and it looks like now we're going to get Harley down from his matches in the booth, down from his matches into the booth. So we'll get to see Kirby into action here in a little bit.
Oh boy, and I get to face Miracles.
Yep, you're gonna have a fun time down there
Yeah.
playing Mardu Pyromancer against the Miracles.
Should be all right. Discard makes it a little bit easier, but we'll see how things go.
Traditionally, Mardu has a good matchup against Jeskai. I'm not sure how its matchup is going to fare against the blue-white version, though.
Terminus against Pyromancer and the tokens is pretty good.
Yeah, and they're more their density of planeswalkers being slightly higher matters a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
We'll eventually get Harley in the booth.
eventually, he's taking his time.
He's slower than Sean winning the game.
So this should be fun. And then you're going against Taxes.
Yeah, that's kind of like the other end of the x-axis. Still
Yeah.
on the same side of the y-axis, though.
I feel like you're good there. I'm not for sure though. I have nothing to base that claim off of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
I
like,
also haven't played this deck very much, so it's still very new to me.
don't worry if it helps at all. Tonight's gonna be my first time playing humans, really.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Harley's away for a moment, so
Okay.
you know what?
Hey, we could bring up my deck.
Yeah, let's talk about your deck with you. So, all right, what are your thoughts on your deck?
I think it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Basically, just get a lot of value out of putting spells in my graveyard as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of discard to both fill up the graveyard and pull cards out of my opponent's hand. And you got Young Pyromancer that synergizes with that really easily. Make a bunch of tokens, keep them from doing anything, and when you run out of gas, you got a good old Bedlam Reveler.
Yeah.
I will say some of the newer versions of the deck are running Nahiri
Mm-hmm.
in the main and Lightning Helixes. That might be something I try out
Okay,
a
that seems
future
neat.
night. This build leans a little bit on Liliana the Veil.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I'm not sure about the sideboard.
Okay.
I think it was off of a moto list.
Yeah.
So the fourth ley line being a Nile Spellbomb was probably just, hey, I didn't have another ley line,
That's
instead
fair.
of intentionally putting in a Nile Spellbomb. Same with the fact there's only one ensnaring bridge.
Yeah.
Well, there he is. I'll let him jump in.
And while they're transitioning over, I'd played this deck a little bit, and I thought about making it kind of my go-to modern deck. But my big issue with the deck is, even though it has many more Blood Moons, boy, do you not want to play against Tron ever. You're even if you show off their mana base, you are not able to pressure them fast enough, and they can just kind of play their lands and hard cast their their Karns, their Ugins, their Wormcoil Engines, what have you. So, anyways, now we have Harley here with us. So, how you doing, Harley?
Acceptable.
Acceptable. That matchup against Miracles. How was
Uh,
that?
Game 2, like, I had 3 green sources, and they're all sideboard cards that I kind of need, and I had to keep popping relics just to try to hit a forest.
Yeah, it felt like you had a lot of card advantage in play, but nothing really to do with it or any way to capitalize on it, which didn't feel great against the aggressive Miracles. Oh, that's what you're fixing. Sorry. Corey just kind of came up behind me without saying anything and just kind of fixed something that I forgot about. So, if you want to let them know that whenever they're done shuffling, they can start, or I can let them know. It's all up to you.
You can let them know I don't know what I'm...
Whenever you guys are done shuffling, you can start up.
He needs fish, apparently. Wait, where's the inkfish?
I don't know what he's doing.
Oh. Sean's doing Sean things.
All right. We good? Okay. So he's grabbing out his elemental tokens for his deck. He's also probably going to need spirit tokens, being as he's running Lingering Souls in his list. So,
I feel like Pyro's pretty favored here.
yeah.
I could be wrong. Like, you have so much advantage. You have great, like, you can recast looting from the yard. You don't even, like, there's a million discard spells. Your creatures are just, like, 1/1 tokens or idiots. So, like, he's got a million wrath effects and, like, some kill spells. But do you want to path the token? Do you want to path, or, like, save it for the Reveler?
Yeah. I feel like the Martyr Pyromancer has been known to be pretty good against the Jeskai control deck. And I feel like that it's going to kind of be the same thing here. Caged Tiki, thank you for the follow. Always great to have someone else getting there. Yeah, I feel like Kirby's just going to be able to outcard advantage Sean and be able to consistently keep up small amounts of pressure, which is all he really wants. Oh, look at that. The timer started too. Neat. So,
I'm guessing we don't know who's on the play.
no, we do not. We never know. We always come in and they're like, nah, we already rolled, and it's awkward.
Well, I like to wait till y'all say it and then push the button, but I can't see if the dice come up on screen or not.
They do. They come up where the life totals are.
Hmm.
Because it's done with a team viewing thing, so basically the life pad is connected to that directly.
We were trying to figure out if we had a better way to keep track of infect round 1.
We do, but I don't know if it's currently hooked up correctly, but we have... we're not going to click on that.
Mm.
We're not going to mess
It's
with
best
that.
not to dabble.
But yeah, we have these things. So... Alright, and I also imagine this is going to be really slow.
Yeah.
Like, really slow.
Testing earlier with John, it was just like depending like how much gas I had versus like how much Sean could stop it.
Yeah. And having a mid-rangey deck against Miracles just kind of means that, like, neither of the decks are going to do much. But we're going to see a Thoughtseize or Inquisition Thoughtseize
It's
here.
Thoughtseize, yeah.
Yeah. He's going to see 2 lands and 3 lands and a Path to Exile.
Yeah. Pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
He knows he has Verdict Path, so he can just play around it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like maybe a Brute now. He's got looting.
Yep. Just going to use this looting. Allows him to kind of set up his draws. And looks like he has a Liliana in the Veil.
And just for a Reveler, too.
Yeah. Feeling pretty not bad about his hand right now.
Yeah. And then...
Ooh, he's taking his time on it. Oh, discarding that Terminate.
Yeah.
Not a great card here.
Pretty dead.
Yeah. Hits Manlands and Vendalion Clicks / Snapcaster Mages.
Which I don't think he's too fearful of those, especially not right now.
No. And even in general, he's not going to be too fearful of X1s in his deck that has Pyromancer and Lingering Souls.
I think Chandra Snap.
Not terrible.
It's another looting.
And, yep.
Just jam it.
Just jam this Liliana. Sean can choose to put down Naked Snapcaster Mage just to kind of pressure it, but it's not going to do all that much.
Not terrific.
And Sean asking how many cards are in Kirby's hand before discards happen. Trying to figure out what he wants to do. Hmm. And, okay, he has the Detention Sphere for the Liliana. That's pretty good here. And that explains his attack at the face.
Yeah. Pretty good top deck.
Yeah. And Mardu has no real way of handling the enchantment, so it's going to stick around there.
So Kirby knows Sean has Path. So, I mean, he just drew a Pyro, so he's probably going to play it and generate a couple tokens. And just lose the Pyro and not care.
Yeah.
Because he can probably jam Reveler next turn if Sean decides to Path.
I think that he has at least... I think he has 4, so he could have even theoretically cast it this turn. Unless one of those cards is Young Pyromancer. He has at least 3 instants or sorceries, though. And Sean's going to play it Cole with the Path on the Young Pyromancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mardu's just all about the advantage. Like, if you get the drop on Miracles, it's kind of hard to recover.
Yep.
Because he's doing it on his upkeep.
He's doing on his end step.
Mm.
So this means that Kirby's able to Lightning Bolt the Snapcaster Mage, get a 1/1 Elemental, and get a land, which will allow him to next turn cast the Bedlam Reveler and refill his hand.
Yep. And then it's going to be pretty hard for Sean to recover after that.
Yeah. Just one of those situations where everything Kirby's doing is allowing him to create a 2-for-1 situation. and that's not what Sean wants to be trying to deal with.
Yep, just slam it.
And he goes only cost 3 mana here. It looks like he picks up an Inquisition of Kozilek and 2 lands.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Pretty medium, but he has the lootings to pitch the lands later.
Alright, now Sean does have the Snapcaster Path to take care of the Emblem Reveler, and this is going to put them at kind of board parity, but Kirby's left with a large amount of lands more than Sean has in play.
Yeah, and Kirby still has advantage from looting to be able to flash it back and try to get some more card advantage.
Yeah, and he has multiple cards in hand he does not mind discarding at this
Yeah,
point.
Lands.
Yeah. So this is not feeling like a good spot for Sean here.
Ooh. Womp womp.
Wait, what?
He clicked on his draw step before he drew for turn.
That you can't do that. If you do it on his draw
I guess on his upkeep. I thought I heard draw step, but
I also thought I heard draw step. Oh well. We're just gonna assume he did on his upkeep.
I mean, that's the only legal line.
Yeah. Alright, so Faithless Looting. Gotta do some discarding here. Drawn, discarding, whatever. And
Is that a
hey,
K command.
that's a Colgan's command, yeah.
Just pitch some bad lands,
Yeah, like,
even though that card's not legal.
what card's not legal?
Bad lands.
Oh.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha.
Ha ha.
Ha. Sorry, I thought that the bad puns were reserved for me.
Mm-mm.
See what I did there? Reserved because it's on the
Ah!
reserve.
We're back.
Oh man. He's gonna do the draw step Colgan's command thing. This
Yeah.
is exciting.
After he draws. No.
Yep, that's a 2-for-1. Yeah,
I kind of would have expected him to try to get the Reveler back.
Reveler was exiled, wasn't it?
Oh, he did path it. I thought saw him going through the graveyard.
No, he grabbed the graveyard and then Sean grabbed the exile.
Yeah. That makes more sense then.
Yeah. If he was able to get back the Reveler, that would have been
Amazing.
completely filthy.
Yeah. But he still has access to another looting in the yard, I think.
Yeah. Access to another looting. He can kill that Snapcaster Mage if he wants to, but I don't think he's even all that worried. And it looks like he doesn't really have any creatures in there. So,
Sean drew opt for turn.
which is fine.
Would you say it's optimal?
I'd say it's suboptimal, but yeah, sure.
Ew.
Do you
It's
want
a
that
path
path
for that
exile?
token?
That would feel so bad to use your turn to opt into a path to take care of a 1/1 token. And I can't see what was picked up for turn there.
I didn't see it either.
Alright, and Kirby's just rearranging his mana here. Okay, sure. Choosing to not even worry about holding that, just gonna use it now. And pops off one of his 2 Inquisitions in hand. In response, Sean's gonna path exile the token.
Yeah. And he knows Kirby doesn't run many basics. Or
Yeah.
he just doesn't care.
Like, he might as well get the value off of it. Like, at this point, Kirby has so many lands in play that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And just getting the path taken for free feels bad. But now they're in a top deck war, and Sean has 4 lands. One, two.
Land and Blood Moon.
Okay, so that Blood Moon's.
Not amazing, but not terrible.
Yeah.
Sean still has access to double blue and a white. He wouldn't be able to Cryptic if he has.
If
Or
he
if
has.
he draws it.
Yeah, he won't be able to cast Cryptic. He won't be able to hardcast the Terminus or hardcast the Supreme Verdict.
Ah, there it is. Oh,
There's a Cryptic.
yeah.
Just counter it, draw a card.
Yeah.
Alright. So now it feels like Sean's kind of in an advantage, a favored position. Well, no, he's not in a favored position.
Everything's bad for everybody.
Yeah, because Kirby still has the Faithless Looting his graveyard.
He's got 2 now.
Yeah. And just going to
There
bring
goes
that
one.
back.
Yeah. And
See-
another moon. Ooh, and Peasy.
Blood Moon Peasy, and I think that he has a fetch land in hand, but I'm not for sure about that third card. Yeah,
So
that's
do
a
you
fetch
think
land.
he keeps the moon or the Peasy? Like, does he want to go the aggressive route, or does he just want to try to shut Sean off?
That's a really hard question, actually. Taking the Blood Moon does shut Sean off of a couple of things, and at the minimum just makes his game more awkward. But at the same, on the other hand, Kirby has to do something.
I was gonna say I don't hate keeping the Blood Moon.
Yeah, I think that the Young Pyromancer is just low impact enough in this matchup that you prefer to have the Blood Moon.
That and again, Sean has just a million pieces of spot removal.
Yeah. So saw that opt pick up the top card, which means it's something that Sean wants to see.
Jace? Oh,
Okay. Now it feels like Sean is in the driver's seat here.
and he can slow roll that Terminus if he wants now,
You can slow roll that tournament.
or Fate Seal.
Yeah, I think that he's safe to start Fate Sealing.
Kirby still has a looting, so it's not.
Does he
amazing.
still have looting?
He still has 1 looting, and I thought he did.
I don't think he does, because he passed back here. If he doesn't, then yeah, this is not great.
No, this is
Pretty bad for the Kirby side.
the Kerbibbles. There we go. He's gonna brainstorm. Just brainstorm things. Ooh, Logic Knot's not terrible.
Not at all.
I'm sure he'd rather you not mention it.
I'm sure he would. All right, and Kirby has to do something and also do.
Oh, he drew a Lingering Souls. That's awkward.
Oh yeah, because he has no way of casting it.
Mm-mm.
That's really not great.
Logic Knot it. Do it. Do it.
I mean,
Tell him who's boss. Do it for 1. Do it for 0. You know you want to. Yeah. Here it is.
like if your hand is nothing, there's no reason not to just logic knot it for maximum. All right, so just kind of burn Kirby's turn there, though Kirby didn't really have anything to do it anyway, so did not matter. And now we're gonna see more card advantage off our boy Jace, and Kirby just kind of feeling pretty shut out right now.
Yeah. And Pyromancer wouldn't have mattered at all in this situation. Like, he might have gotten... I mean, now he can generate some tokens, which isn't terrible, but Sean still has access to Terminus.
Yeah, so he's gonna run out this Young Pyromancer and then run out a
And then
Lingering Souls.
He has 2 in the yard he can flashback, so he can just make an army of tokens this turn if he wants.
I don't know if he wants to commit quite that much. Is the main
No,
thing.
I wouldn't think so either. Yeah, there's a pile of tokens.
Oh, look at that on the top. There's spirits.
If Kirby wants to get greedy, he can, but, I mean, Sean's been slow... Yeah, Sean's slow rolling a Terminus, so it doesn't matter to him.
Yeah, so I imagine that we're gonna see that Terminus get popped off here next turn. No,
We're thinking.
he's thinking quite a lot.
I think
Okay.
it might be the... Yeah, there it is.
There's Terminus. Yep.
We
Now we're back to an empty board and
and a Jace.
a Jace. So
And Kirby does have 1 loot and 1 Lingering Souls left in the yard.
yeah, he's not left completely empty-handed.
Sean is a timely if he... Well, it doesn't really do much either.
No.
I mean, if Kirby wants to flashback some souls, he can make some tokens.
And Kirby has a pretty low life total right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not a huge fan of Fate Sealing at this point in the game.
I wouldn't mind Sean fate sealing himself.
Yeah, like doing a scry feels fine, But Fate Sealing the person who has an active Faithless Looting doesn't feel great.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so now 2 spirits are in play, and Kirby's just going to pass it back.
Oh, it was a Terminus.
Okay. This is actually a pretty solid play here.
Yeah, going a little aggressive with it now.
Like,
That was a bolt.
he's pretty safe to get aggressive here. And flashback that looting. Sees a Colgan's Command, which is not bad here, and a Lingering Souls, which is also not bad to pitch. So he's doing something.
He is doing things. Sean can get that 1 point in. He could bounce something and get 2 points in if he really wants.
Yeah. Like, it just really all depends on how aggressive Sean wants to be. It looks like he's just going to choose a Brainstorm.
Probably put another Terminus back on top.
Yeah.
Now he can just hardcast it if he needs.
He has that option. He has an Opt as well. It looks like he has a Cryptic Command.
He is fine.
He is totally fine here. I don't think he necessarily needs to attack this turn, but he might. Looks like he does. Sean's thinking about countering that bolt.
And I know he has a Terminus on top, so there's... He just probably slow rolls the Opt and does it end step next turn.
Yeah. If he's able to get through at least 1 point of damage here, he can also make a really aggressive line next turn of balancing the Blood Moon to get into that
Yeah,
point.
get the Colonnade in.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't even know if that's necessary. But Sean's... Okay, there we go. Yeah, just let that resolve. Both of his tokens get traded off.
Yeah, and he doesn't care. He's still fine.
He's still fine. He just has to find that window to actually win the game. Oh man, that's kind of sad.
He has a Thoughtseize.
He does have a Thoughtseize. Though Thoughtseize being risky because of the aforementioned play with the well no, Cryptic Command would just get eaten by the
Yeah,
Thoughtseize.
it wouldn't...
It wouldn't actually work here. The Thoughtseize.
Oh,
Alright, so now he's choosing to scry. But sure,
I think he got
seems
rid of
fine.
that Terminus.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Terminus is still in hand.
Which gives him a little bit of protection here against the Young Pyromancer.
Mm-hmm.
And that Jace is quickly building towards ultimate here, which might be just be the way that Sean is hoping to win the game.
What did he draw? I didn't get to see it. He flicked it too fast.
Yeah, he went too fast with that card.
Oh, it's a Reveler.
Okay, Reveler's the best card he could draw.
Yeah.
He's able...
It's definitely not resolving. Unless Kirby wants to lead with Thoughtseize. That's... Oh. Is he passing? Oh, he's looking at his yard.
Like,
If Kirby wants to lead with Thoughtseize, it puts him
Puts
at
him-
3.
puts him at 3, which leaves him dead to Vendilion Click, or if Sean has 2 ways of removing that Blood Moon in play.
Mm-hmm. So, Sean's going to have to Cryptic. The other card's Terminus. I wonder if he bounces the Blood Moon. It doesn't do any... Like, he either has to... Kirby has to either recast Blood Moon or do the Reveler.
So the thing is, if he went for the bounce the Blood Moon line, he'd have to have the hard read on Kirby having the Bedlam Reveler in hand to go for that line. because otherwise it's just kind of negative card value.
Well, you got a collected brutality. That's not bad.
Now, and
Sean still has the Terminus in hand, which he can just fire. Oh, if he fires off this brutality, though.
he can
Yep.
Yep.
Escalate.
go ahead and drain him for 2, get a little bit more life total, take the Terminus, and leave himself in a pretty not terrible spot.
Yeah.
So we might actually see Kirby.
needs a token, an extra token. There we go.
We might see Kirby to start turning this game around. Though, there still is a Jason play.
He also has a lot of work to do. Sean still being at 15.
Yeah. Looks like Sean's not feeling super happy with the draws he's been given.
He has another Jace, which is unfortunate. He can't shuffle away with that Field of Ruin to just get rid of the stuff. I guess he's going to pop off the Serum to scry them both to the bottom.
Well, scry one to the bottom, because he has to draw the card first. And then it looks like he sees Glimmer of Genius on top.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's fine here.
Yeah, he's not going to get it for until next time. Does he still have the opt?
I think he does, but I'm not for sure. And if he has the opt, then it's a lot better because he does have to. He does have a short window to answer this.
He does not have the opt because when he got Thought Seized, it was Terminus Colonnade.
Okay, yeah.
You say he hit Sean? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
I think he's going to get the Jace.
Then it looks like, is that a Lily and another Pyro? Or is at least another Pyro?
I think it's a push and a Pyro.
Push is pretty meh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate end step pushing one of Kirby's tokens just to generate another if he has no other lines.
Well,
next turn.
So he could have actually killed the Jace here if he wanted to push the Bedlam Reveler.
Yep.
And I think that might have been a slight misstep on his part.
That's not legal. Oh, Sean's hand's weird.
Yeah.
So he saw Teferi. I think that's a click.
And Teferi can be used as a removal spell for the Bedlam Reveler, but boy, do you not want to do that.
Yeah, that's... Oh, there's the Glimmer still.
Yeah. Like, he most likely is not dead on the following turn if he does nothing to handle the board. But if Kirby has access to 2 Lightning Bolts, then he is dead. Yeah, 2 Lightning Bolts kills him.
We have only seen 1 Lightning Bolt so far.
And we've seen 2 Kolaghan's commands, so there's only 1 Kolaghan's command left.
I feel like we've seen a set of lootings.
Yeah. We've only seen 1 Collective Brutality.
Ooh. I think we've seen 2, but only 1's been cast.
Okay. Ooh, and it looks like he's going for Tucking the Blood Moon here.
That's interesting.
That is extremely interesting. Does he have a crypt command in hand?
I don't think so. He's got Glimmer still, I want to say.
Yeah.
And another Jace.
Alright. And Kirby going on the aggressive here, well, not on the aggressive, trying to go for the plan of just clearing out the Planeswalkers in play.
Which I don't hate this, but...
if Sean blind draws, well, not blind, if Sean's able to scry his way into a Terminus, he probably wins the game here.
I think that's a Timely and a land? Or it's a Verdict. Path and Verdict.
Yeah.
2 not bad cards.
So...
Let the Walkers die. He can Verdict next turn and play another Jace.
Yeah. Now, Kirby does have a Bedlam Reveler in hand, but he's choosing to hold it here because he knows that if Sean wipes the board, he'll be able to kind of rebuild a little bit.
Which Sean could arguably lead with Jace. And see what he has before he verdicts.
Yes.
which I can't. The way he's tapping, he can't. Yeah, he's just going to go with the verdict. And that's fine.
And he's tapping in waste that way. If the Blood Moon resolves next turn, he has maximum amount of colored mana open.
Yeah. This leaves Sean with just negate mana up.
Which is fine. It doesn't handle the
Reveler.
Reveler or
Or
the Young
the
Pyromancer.
army of... He's got appease. Or he might have two. So he's just going to make an army of idiots this turn, maybe.
Yeah, so Kirby can go Young Pyromancer, Bedlam Reveler, trigger on the stack, Fatal Push my Bedlam Reveler, get a token.
Yep. But, I mean, Kirby didn't see that line earlier to kill Jace, so he might not see that again. We'll see. On the next episode.
On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it?
Nope.
2 pushes.
It looks
That could have been 2 tokens.
so
Or just moon him.
it looks like
Yeah,
he's
there's the
prioritizing that, and
I think he had land. That's
Yeah.
Oh, that's a medium.
no, that
Reveler.
feels real bad.
Yeah.
And this game's been super swingy.
Oh.
Oh, hey. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And I think it's just safe to Fate Seal him now.
Yeah, Fate Seal him, put him down to 3.
Oh, he can also swing in with their colonnade.
Yeah.
He's gonna put him on. No, just going for the advantage.
I mean, I can't hate on that play. Look at him go.
It's a miracle.
They did the style thing of putting 2 cards back with Jace, putting top card as the card you want to fetch, then cracking your fetch land and grabbing the top card of your library to save time. Just miracle player things.
Boop. Just gonna boop him for 4.
Yep. For leaving himself with 2 white mana. Oh, nope.
How
nope.
do I tap mana? There we go.
Leaving
We
himself
did
with
it.
double white, double blue, and Field of Ruin open.
There we go.
Alrighty then. Well, that was a long game.
I mean, it's very back and forth too. Like there were tons of times, like if Kirby had drew a little bit, there were a couple things he could have done slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sweet sparring construct.
I think that the biggest one was not going for the kill on the Jace there.
Right, and that's a line, honestly, I would not have seen.
Okay, that's fair.
I wouldn't have risked it for said biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now, looking at sideboards, Sean has access to Celestial
That's
Purges
fine.
and access to Rest in Pieces as well.
He has tons of good cards he could bring in. Like he can, like the Purges are good. Dispels are, they're not playable. They just don't bring them in.
Disdainful Strokes aren't playable.
Negates are good. Rest in Peace is good. He probably brings in Wrath. Maybe Timely. I mean, Sean likes to do cute things, so maybe Baneslayer.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about the Baneslayer, because your opponent's most likely going to cut their 1 Terminate, and it does that. No, I don't like Baneslayer here. Don't do that.
I like Baneslayer.
I like Baneslayer as a card. I don't know if this is the matchup for it. But yeah, and from the main board, what do we not like? The Vendilion Clicks don't feel that great to me.
Clicks seem bad. Like he's gonna make a bunch of flying idiots to like chomp. Like you don't want to go on the creature race with him. I don't like Click. Logic Knot's kind of meh. I don't like Glimmer in general in this.
Yeah.
But that's me. Like
So I feel like I don't like Glimmer as a card, but I feel like this is one of the matchups that you like Glimmer. Just because it's a 4 mana card advantage
he
card.
could arguably take out Teferi just because of the cost.
Yeah, he could do that. But I like keeping him in, personally. But transitioning over, so I don't honestly know what you're supposed to bring in here. I imagine you bring in the Molten Rains. But aside from that,
I mean, I would take out. I don't like Dread. Well, no, I do like Dread War. What am I talking about?
don't like Terminate.
No, Terminate goes out. Manamorphose
pushes.
could go out.
Yeah.
I don't, and yeah, push. Like those are all like what? That's 4 cards he could easily take out.
Yeah.
I don't hate bringing in.
Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup.
Yeah, I don't mind the chicken noodle soup with a baseball bat. Wear Tear isn't terrible if you're really concerned about because he's seen Detention Sphere and he knows there's got to be some search for Escanta.
So
If you want to keep him off that value,
like that's 1 to 2 detention spheres and then 2 search for Escantas is what you can logically assume.
right?
I'm not sure if you want to be bringing that type of card in.
He could also be specking for a Rest in Peace.
Oh, yep. Sorry, I didn't even think about the rest in peace. Yeah, Wear and Tear has some play here. Molten Rain has some play. Campbell has some play, and the third Collective Brutality has some play as well.
Oh, 100% the Brutality comes in.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just a question of how hard, what else you want to be cutting down on.
you have 4 cards you can take out. I mean, you can bring in the Wear Tears and the Brutality.
Hmm.
It's like, do you want to bring in...
The Campbell or the Molten Rain.
Yeah, I am not stoked on Molten Rain,
That's fair.
personally.
Like I know I've had it brought in against me quite a lot, but
Mhm.
that's on Jeskai, and it might be more impactful there than it is in this matchup. So
And if Kirby goes, like... I could see him trimming a Souls.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. All right, well, I think that we've looked enough at that, and we'll just go and switch over. I'll let them know they can start whenever. You guys can start. All right, get yourself some Cheetos.
Would you like one?
No,
They're jalapeno.
I'm gonna get some after I'm done with the commentary thing, because I want those jalapeno things in my mouth. Oh God, they did it.
I like it when you
before.
talk cheesy to me.
Got to keep it cheesy.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
Now, I'm not saying Cheetos is sponsor us, but like
I'm just saying, if y'all want to float some this way, not be upset.
I will wear a Cheetos hoodie.
Would you tear it? Taking that, yeah, get rid of that Escon. Man, no, he took a Purge.
Sure. I like that. Okay. I like what Future IDK said in the chat there. Molten Rain is good versus Colonnades and Escantas. The bolts are bad. Yeah, bolts seems reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, against, like, even when I'm playing Affinity or anything against these control decks, you usually trim on some number of burn spells, because
Mm-hmm.
you can race them and go face. It's not great. I mean, if you want to trigger your Pyromancers, but you're not going to generally win the creature war as much.
Yeah. I've also done
Here's
that.
the bolt, though.
I mean, he's not going to cut all of his bolts, I don't
You can
imagine.
cut some number of bolts.
Like, he could cut one, 2 or so, and then still be fine.
Could cut up to 4.
He could cut up to 4.
Could cut up to none.
He could. We established, though, he has 4 cards that he wants to get out of there for sure.
Peasy gone, huh?
Peasy kind of signals to myself and I imagine to Sean that Kirby's hand must have a fair amount of things he wants in it.
There's also a chance that Kirby could have cut Purge. So he took Escanta,
And
and now we're getting rid of a Snap.
it looks like Sean's running real low in lands here.
What I was going to say is I could see Kirby also trimming Blood Moons because Sean's just blue-white control.
Mhm.
And blue-white, like, their non-basics are, you know, a couple Shocklands, a couple Field of Ruins, and a couple Colonnades. Like, Blood Moon's not terrible, but it's not amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Field of Ruin.
And speaking of Blood Moon,
Mm.
and we're going to see Sean float a white,
And
then
Purge.
Celestial Persia.
And Kirby knew about the Purge, so he's just trying to get this out of the way.
Man. Like, he could try to hold the Blood Moon and get to a position where Sean's tapped out and he can safely resolve it. But he's going to choose to instead just go ahead and force Sean's hand. And Sean here, missing his third land drop, feels pretty not great for him.
He could be able to shut Kirby off of white, get rid of that Sacred Foundry on the end step, and, you know, filter his mana a little better. Maybe get a basic island.
I would not be surprised to see that play. Feels pretty not bad here.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know how. I mean, obviously, like you're going to keep him off the white source because like that's all he has. But I don't know if Sean also knows that this deck doesn't really run basic planes, or I think they might be up to 2 Sacred Foundry in the main.
yeah, this list is on 2 Sacred Foundries, and if what we've been talking about with the Wear Tear or the Kimball is true, that means he's cutting down on his ways of casting that and the front side of Lingering Souls.
Got back peasy. I like this play.
Yeah. Seems fine.
There's that extra land for Sean. What's he going to do with it?
Just gonna pass back.
Just going to pass the turn. That's fine. So Kirby has Bolt and Pyro.
And he doesn't have a ton of instants of sorceries in his graveyard for the Bedlam Reveler.
Mm-mm.
And this Glimmer of Genius looking really good right now.
Still don't like the card, but I mean, it's like,
Like,
as a one-off, it's done work for Sean.
I agree. I'm not a big fan of the card, but in this type of matchup, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Or even in the control mirror match, it's pretty not bad.
Land and
Cryptic Man.
Cryptic.
Yeah, we take those. Well, we take the Cryptics.
Take one of those.
I think you take the land too at this point, because you've missed some land drops.
Hashtag Sean things.
You really do not need to bother with representing the energy. Like don't. They're gonna do it though.
Kirby's gonna do it. Sean doesn't care.
Sean understands.
There's energy. There is an energy token down there somewhere.
There is it
Oh,
does.
no, we have 12 minutes left. This might just be.
Oh no, Sean. So, kind of more of a tournament thing here. Sean has the ability to use the clock as a win condition for the match. And, like, there's a good enough chance this game takes another 12 minutes.
Sean having a Logic Knot in hand, he can say, like, Kirby has enough mana for that Reveler.
Kirby has enough mana, but I don't think he has enough mana through the Logic Knot.
No, definitely not. And there's that chicken noodle soup, but he doesn't have the white source.
Nope, and swing for one, and I am curious whether or not Kirby's just going to run out this Bedlam Reveler or wait a turn. I think he's...
He might be flashing back to looting.
If he has looting, I think he's flashing that back, yeah.
Nope, just going ham on the Reveler.
Oh, that... Okay, I underestimate the amount of instant sorceries in his graveyard.
So Sean has to do it for 5, which he can easily do.
Yeah. He has to exile 4 cards from his graveyard. Yep. And he didn't even have to exile any instants or sorceries here.
And there's another Cryptic.
Yep. I don't think Sean's going to even need to worry about the clock at this point. I think that he's put himself in a good position, but as we saw game 1, it can certainly start swaying back in favor of Kirby.
That was Kirby's draw for turn. So he still has access to the looting in the yard if he really wants.
Yeah.
He's not doing much else.
One thing of small consideration in a matchup like this is sometimes you can hold off on your collective brutalities in case you draw something like a Liliana the Vel or another Bedlam Reveler that you want to protect.
What was the search for Escanta for turn?
Search for Escanta is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Just anything that gives Sean advantage at this point is good, because that's all he really needs. We picked up Young Pyromancer or land.
So he can either keep the Pyromancer or...
Cast the Cabal.
Right. I honestly don't know what I would choose. I would probably choose Kambal, because even if like Sean goes to Wrath to get rid of it, he's going to nug some damage.
So I personally like discarding the 2 lands, mostly under the logic that... So you're going to eventually draw the lands to cast the Kambal, but you're not necessarily... Like... It's one of those, like, kind of hard to explain lines of thought, but basically, you're going to draw into another land eventually to play the Cabal, whereas you're not necessarily guaranteed to draw into another threat.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Oh, hey, that's a Terminus.
It is.
And
Gonna nug Sean, but there goes your idiots.
yeah, it like deals some amount of damage to Sean, but that doesn't really matter. Now we see an opt, and now he's going to cast that opt, and yeah, it's going great for Sean.
Definitely just for Sean.
Not for Kirby. Kirby's not having a great time. The Dreadbore in hand, doing nothing.
And Sean with all the advantage.
Yep.
I think I saw a Teferi in this
Oh, yeah.
comp set.
Fairy feel real strong right
Yeah.
now. And he's just going to choose the negate. Okay. He doesn't even care.
Long hair don't care. Oh, he just wants the advantage. He's not even going to try to win. He just
Yeah, so this is the safe play. Because by not playing the
hashtag Sean thinks. He is losing his mind.
by not casting a Planeswalker here, he's making that Dreadbore completely dead in Kirby's hand. And Sean doesn't have to win to win. Like, he can win by not winning.
But he also has a million things to deal with anything Kirby does want to do. Like
Oh, yeah, no, it's... Like, he can let this resolve, then he can rat the board. He's eventually going to find a Rest in Peace to handle the graveyard.
I mean, he's got Wrath and Verdict in hand.
But yeah.
He's going to, search.
Oh, he's not even doing it for the... Oh, there we go.
There's Jace. Is he going to pick up the Jace and actually go for a win con? Okay.
Oh, he's going to try to win the game.
Oh,
That's
where's
lame.
the fun in this? Just punish him for 7.5 minutes. Okay, there it is.
Hey, look, that was pretty good. Now there's a Jace.
Senor Jace.
Now, we do know that there's going to be a Dreadbore for it, but we also know there's a negate from Sean's side, so it doesn't matter.
Yep. Long hair, don't care.
This is
Fate Seal.
not great for
Brainstorm?
Kirby.
Nope, just more advantage. We're not trying to win. We're just trying to prove a point.
Who needs win conditions when I have card advantage?
But look at all these cards. My pieces.
Okay. You got it.
Is that a Dreadbore in hand, or is that a... For some reason I thought it was a Reveler, not a Dreadbore. But if he's not casting it, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Or just another Terminus. Just Terminus.
Hey,
things.
look at that.
It's like Sean's playing Legacy again.
I can wrath every turn.
Watch him brainstorm. Oh.
Ooh, is he going to leave him with that Inquisition? No.
It is a Reveler.
Okay. Kirby just being very conservative here.
Well, he's got two now, so he's going to... Oh, never mind. It's a Mountain. Alright, we're going to try this. And it's not going to happen.
There's no way that resolves. Sean has like 500 Japanese foil ways of answering that. Okay.
Crash in? Yeah, here you go.
Oh,
Trying
man.
to win now.
Gonna try to win.
Sometimes.
Man, this is excitement. There's a negate. Ew.
Do it. Do it. Yeah.
So he's currently working up 2 win conditions. He has a backup man land, and Kirby has nothing in play again. Liliana's not even gonna do. Oh,
Just
it's gonna do
just
negate.
things.
Yep. Okay. Effectively made Sean discard 1 card. All right, so plus on you again.
What is that? Is
I
that
don't
brutality
know.
Or a...
It's a brutality. He probably just leaves it there.
Yeah, does not care. Just crash in. Yeah.
I mean, brutality can save Kirby, but
Yeah, yeah. But Sean also has a million. Oh, it's Campbell.
oh, it's Campbell. Okay, yeah, no, you're fine with that. You're fine.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty then. So Sean going ahead and taking that match in 2-0 fashion. Certainly not quick though. It was 46 minutes. So Now we're gonna have Kirby on Mardu Pyromancer versus Sebastian on White Black Taxes. So see if this matchup goes a little bit more quickly. Know for sure that there's definitely gonna be more creature on creature action.
That's my favorite. I think this one's super play draw dependent.
Yeah, though there's still a lot of play to it. I feel like Sebastian has the more impactful individual cards, but Kirby's just able to play that value game so strong. I'm actually going to go and pull up the white-black taxes list while they get settled. So, from the Taxes side, they have 1 Blade Splicer, 3 Flicker Wisps, 3 Eldrazi Placers, Tadhole Scholars, Thaliads, etc. Pretty much everything you'd expect from this type of deck, and 2 Shalais, which feels like a pretty impactful card here in this matchup, as well as a couple other.
Yeah,
we're getting it.
We need some Shalai.
Shalai does some things. Oh god, no. Yeah, it's pulled up on the screen there.
That is gas.
Yeah.
Like if he can just get.
So Shalai's able to blink removal spell, blink lightning bolts very effectively because it doesn't die to them, and the lightning bolts can't be used to hit any of your creatures. It acts as a lightning rod if there's targeted removal that can hit anything, and it just gives you a lot of different value. It gives yourself hexproof, so things like Kolaghan's Command or Inquisition or Thoughtseize lose value.
Even Lily just turns into Edict. Like you can't take. Or no, it's each player. Never mind. You can't Edict, but you can make each other discard.
Yeah.
The music went to a song that had like lyrics that were nothing but clicks, so it was just like. So we're just sitting there clicking at each other, confusing Corey and Sebastian.
Okay. So, yeah, and it looks like we're just waiting on young Sebastian.
Sebi.
Does he know?
I don't know.
Is he aware?
If I see him upstairs, I'll want him. See you guys.
My son?
Wait, where is he?
Is he not down here? Have you tried hitting him? Have you tried kicking in the door, waving your 4/4?
Here, real quick, we're gonna.
All you heard was Sean, don't hit me no more.
All right. So we've talked about this list a little bit.
I know he doesn't know what that is.
But hey, look, you can see Kirby's phone.
Should we message him? Say, hey, put your phone away?
Now, the hard test would be if we message him, does he respond to, oh, look at that nub. He has screen switch on. What a nub.
Scrub Lord.
Okay, we probably shouldn't actually just be like showing
No,
his.
let's just see his Facebook. Let's make this public knowledge.
No. Just gonna put this here. We're not gonna just like watch one of our people just like play with his phone. That'd be disrespectful.
Cheeto?
Yeah, I'll mess with the Cheeto right now. I'm gonna like, oh god, the bag.
Crispity Crunchy Cheetos. Not asking for a sponsorship, but we will take them.
We'll super take a sponsorship. Other sponsorships we will take. A vanilla Coke. No, from the fridge.
Oh, that's too bad.
Get some Diet Double Do.
What do you think I am? Almost first tree, you slave?
I got you one earlier.
Sebastian's here.
Oh man, we have a Sebastian.
Have
Heck yeah.
acquired my adopted son.
Dio, Brandon.
Got those wonderful crunching sounds. I'm sure you guys love. I'm sorry.
Carly, is your
I'm
adopted
done.
son Dio?
Hmm?
Is your adopted son Dio?
Dio? No.
Adopting Dio Brando seems like a fun little life experience.
I too want to get poisoned.
He'll kick your dog. He'll steal your girl.
Go kill your dog.
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
He'll make your life more exciting. You'll open up the door. You're really expecting some pleasant thing, and then he'll be like, "It was me, Dio," and then he'll make a meme. Really a good time.
Dude, we might. That's an 8 from Kirby. And.
An 8 from Sebastian. All right, now we got an
another
8. Is that an 8? Oh,
Ooh.
that's more than an 8.
My son doing me proud. My child
As he like almost throws his deck around.
flails angrily.
Oh, I see a vial.
But I don't see a land.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Hate to see that happen. Now, the Blood Moon from Kirby's side can be really impactful if there's not an Aether Vial. But if there is an Aether Vial, it's kind of a little limp.
I do like if Sebastian can just get in the driver's seat a little bit with like being aggressive with his Ghost Quarters and paths. Like he is fine. I see a Temple. I see a Vial. That's a Snap Keep.
The Thalias also feel pretty impactful in this matchup.
It's
If you're on the play.
yeah. There's so much that like everything's just a variable. I would like to think Sebastian's favored, but I'm probably wrong.
I think that it's a matchup where if someone is favored, it's not by a huge amount of points.
That's not a great opener on Sebastian. I mean,
No.
it is on a Multi 6, and it's acceptable.
It is acceptable.
I mean, next turn,
He can't do anything next
that's
turn.
correct. He can just, unless that top deck or that scry that he kept on top is something pretty sweet.
Yeah. It feels like he's gonna give Kirby a little bit too much time to do what he wants to do. Top card is a Caves of Koilos, so he can choose to throw down one of his assorted Eldrazi's this turn. And it looks like he's gonna choose to throw down the Displacer here.
Kirby does have Bolt in hand, which is going to take care of that now.
Yep. Kirby's hand looks chock full of removal spells. He has Dreadbore, Blood Moon, Terminate. Tons of removal spells. And, like, the Blood Moon's even not that bad. Not even that bad with Aether Vial in play because if Sebastian chooses to stay on 3, then he locks himself out of his 12 2-drops and his 4 4-drops. And if he chooses to keep it on 2, then he locks himself out of his 4 8 12, like same number, 12 3-drops. So he kind of puts himself in a position where he's going to have 16 cards that are made dead by what he chooses to keep it on.
And he chose to keep it on, too. Now he's not going to get that Strangler in play anytime soon.
Nope.
Which I unfortunately could see him taking up just to play the Strangler, but then like drawing into a bunch of 2-drops.
He's not in a great position, and his deck currently has substantially more 3 more 2-drops than he does 3-drops because he already has 3-drops in hand / graveyard.
But his 3-drops are more value. Like he has Displacer, which won't be activating this game. He has Blade Splicer, which will make, tokens. He has Thalia, which is pretty neat. Strangler's not going to really do a whole lot this game.
There's a chance that... So he can put back things like Faithless Looting into Kirby's Graveyard, but that, of course, has its own risks to it.
Yeah, and Kirby Thoughtseize probably just going to take the Strangler.
Yeah. You're not super worried about the path right now.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right. I mean, he's not casting it anytime soon. And
Okay, sure. He's just going to try to protect that, and he draws... Ooh. Draws into a
Just
young
thinking about it.
Pyromancer.
I can see him doing it.
And... Oh,
There it
there it is. Yep. And it looks like he drew into another 3-drop off the top, so kind of getting rewarded here.
Be a Displacer. Unfortunately, not getting activated.
Nope. Just a 3/3.
Which I don't think he has much out of the side to deal with enchantments either.
Alright, now that Wasteland Strangler.
I mean, he can get rid of Peasy, I guess. It's the only thing he can get rid of.
If Kirby attacks in with the Battle Marbler, he can get rid of it.
Yeah, he can block it, and you're correct.
And I think it's a little weird that Kirby walked into this card he knew about.
I think it's kind of weird Sebastian didn't.
Do it? Yeah.
I think he's just going to go for the Pyromancer. I guess because Pyromancer's more of a long-term.
Yeah.
mean, he has access to Displacer, so he can double block if he really needs, but that feels pretty mediocre.
Feels pretty mediocre in comparison to this turn he could have blocked for free.
Mm-hmm. What?
What?
Did I miss something?
It looks like he's choosing not to put the Faithless Looting in the graveyard.
He flashed it back.
I am thinking of this card correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like he's just choosing not to put it back. I suppose he's worried about the card advantage off of it, though the card advantage off of the Young Pyromancer feels a little bit more impactful to me.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so the line with him putting it back and killing the Reveler kind of sucks in the aspect that, oh, that's just drive another one, that's fine. And Kirby didn't really draw a whole lot, but it doesn't matter because he's just in the driver's seat.
Yeah, like, he didn't need to draw much off of that.
Is Reveler a cast or an enter?
Enter.
Ooh,
Why do you ask?
Displacer.
Yeah? Yeah? They work together. That is correct.
Go on the mill route.
And Sebastian calling Kirby's bluff here. Just double blocking.
Mm.
And yeah,
rough.
that's bad. Another Young Pyromancer. Fire off an Inquisition. Nope, fire off a Lingering Soul. It's just...
Yeah, he's got it.
He's got this
There's
game.
no way for Sebastian to come by or come back.
Oh no, yeah.
He's been flooded with a lot of non-basics.
And he's swinging in there for a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. And he doesn't even care now if Sebastian blocks the Young Pyromancer.
Because he's got a backup.
Yeah.
Blocking a token. All right.
And yeah. Oh my god. It's fucking round timer.
I don't think it's going to matter too much.
It won't. That round timer's so easy to forget about. Alrighty then. So, Martyr Pyromancer sideboard.
I can already see, I saw Sebastian bringing in Kambal and, pushes.
Well, actually, if that's the case, let's just go and start with him then. Alright, so he's bringing in his Fatal Pushes, his Kimbals. You think
Crusaders.
Crusaders.
Pretty good. Pontiff, I could see bringing in. Worship's pretty.
Meh.
Yeah, it's pretty medium. Rest in Peace is good.
Selfless Spirit is okay, but
What do you cut? Like,
yeah, that's the big thing.
that's the thing. Like, he doesn't have access to many basics. He has 2 planes. He's got to fear the Blood Moon, but you can't be too fearful of it.
Like, I feel like Eldrazi Displacer's not that great in this matchup.
There's no way to keep it on lock enough. Like, I think Displacer could go. There's an argument for Strangler or like he's on the play, so like if he has the gas, he's fine. But like last game, he had turn 1 Vial, turn 2 do nothing.
Yeah. So let's work with him starting with just the Displacers. You want to bring in the Mirror Crusaders for sure, and you want to bring in the Fatal Pushes. Then after that, what else do you need to bring in? Because you can bring in beyond that the Cam Balls, the Rest in Pieces.
I feel like you want the Rest in Pieces.
Okay.
You might need them. I don't like Thought-Knot. The only way, like, if you are fearing the Blood Moon, you're never going to cast it.
Yeah.
You have to hit off Vial of 4. If you have the Nut and you can just, turn to it off 2 Temples, sure. Life is grand.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where also if you get into that position where you guys are just kind of in top deck war, Thought-Knot's really bad because Kirby has no cards in hand, then Kirby kills it.
In late game, it's just a dead card. Like, Kirby's going to slow roll some Faithless Lootings. He's going to wait, draw a card, cast it. It's never going to be in a great spot. He stays pretty hellbent. And if he knows he's running Thought-Knot, like, he just keeps just a dead card in there for you to waste.
Yeah.
I feel like Thought-Knot 100% comes out.
Okay. Then if we're doing that, then Thought-Knot and Eldrazi Displacer are out. 3 Rest in Pieces, 2 Fatal Pushes, 2 Mirror Crusaders, and a Cam Ball. That's 8 cards for 8 cards.
Mm-hmm. I think that sounds right.
Okay. From the Martyr Pyromancer side, I'm not for sure.
So, you don't. I mean, there's not a lot to bring in. If he wants to just get rid of, he doesn't even care about Vile. Like, there's no reason to bring in Wear Tear.
Yeah.
He could bring in EE. I like EE, especially
Okay.
against Thalia decks. Like, you can abuse the Thalia attacks to cheat your EE in a little better.
Mm-hmm.
There's an argument for Bridge if he knows that Sebastian doesn't have a way to get, like, the only thing
Well,
he can.
Flicker Wisp.
That's it. 3 Flicker Wisps, and he has to do it on the end step, or like when Sebastian feels comfortable enough to Alpha Strike. Like, there's an argument for the Bridge.
Yeah, I don't know if you need to go that cute though.
Maybe not.
Like
He could bring in Brutality. I don't hate Brutality either.
just as a removal spell.
Another removal spell, a Drain You, or like if he wants to get rid of some paths or something of that nature. Also, just to throw he could throw like Lingering Souls in the yard if he doesn't want to wait on the white source.
Yeah. And I assume at this point we kind of like our cutting cards are like Monomorphose and then some assorted discard spells.
Don't actually know why Manamorphose is in the deck. I don't get it.
It fuels Young Pyromancer and makes the Bedlam Reveler easier to cast, and allows you
Okay.
to cast more stuff through Blood Moon. But I think
Sure.
that a lot of people have been walking away from that.
Yeah, I haven't. I've seen it as a one of in some lists, and I've seen some just like that's why I was also asking about the 2 Sacred Foundries, because I know some lists nowadays are running 2,
Yeah.
because everybody knows once you get rid of the 1, you're fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go and swap on over. Let them know they can start, and yeah, you guys can start.
And no Vial from Sebastian. I feel like I see a Ghost Quarter, which, no
No turn one play.
hand disruption. We're playing some Fair Magic now, maybe.
Sure feels like it.
Ooh,
Oh, there's a Thalia.
Yeah, that's good fun magic right there.
Yep, that kind of makes Kirby's early turns awkward because it looks like he was planning on lining up a Fatal Push into a Young Pyromancer, but now instead he's just having to turn to cast Fatal Push.
And I see another Thalia in hand. As I say, the gasoline here would be to jam an Arbiter and just Ghost Quarter him. But I don't know if he has it, and he doesn't have
He
it.
doesn't have it. But that's fine. This is just kind of taxing a lot of what Kirby's trying to do here.
Especially with a push in hand.
Now, this is kind of a minor thing, but if Kirby had wanted to, at the turn 2 Fatal Push, he could have instead waited till Sebastian's end of turn to do it. You're fine taking that 2 damage.
And there's another Thalia.
Yeah.
But no, I agree completely with what you're saying. You could just take the 2 damage, wait till the end step, and have a free 3 mana instead of having to waste another 2.
Yeah.
And then 3. And like he could be slow rolling Sebastian's Thalias.
Yeah. And one other thing, I do see the Monomorphose in Kirby's hand.
Another Thalia. Oh, it's a Displacer this time.
Ah, that'd be good.
If it was Thalia number 4, I would have lost it.
Yeah, but so one thing that when playing against the Taxes deck, if they don't have the Aether Vial, you don't really have to worry about too much trickery unless you're playing around exactly Restoration Angel. But if they don't have the 4 mana, you don't have to worry about that. And if you want to kill their Thalia, you can wait till end of turn because you don't really have to worry about your life total that much. And if they have another one in hand, it kind of makes it so there's a chance that they don't get to do anything that turn, and you get to untap and do something before another Thalia hits the board.
So how do you feel about Sebastian not firing off this Ghost Quarter on the Sacred?
I
Like,
think
there's not a lot of great lines to do it. You can keep him off some mana early.
I feel like the thing is, even though you make some of his cards worse, it's not the best just because you're losing a resource and they're going to keep a resource,
Mm-hmm.
and you care about the mana a little bit, especially without an Aether Vial and with only 4 cards in hand.
Oh, there's the Strangler.
I mean, 1 card in hand.
I mean, Displacer's still fine on his own. He's going to be able to blink the token away or just attack and not care. Kirby's left with a Reveler, and I want to say that's a Lingering Souls, which he had the Manamorphose. He has 1 open mana.
Yeah, so he's going to use it to cast Faithless Looting.
And if Kirby discards a land here, I still am on the Fire Off the Ghost Quarter plan.
Hmm.
Just keep him off that white mana. And he gets rid of Lingering Souls. So
Okay.
now you kind of don't care.
And Kirby's really nicely setting up a Bedlam Reveler next turn. And, oh
What
man.
is that?
It's a Vault of the
Oh,
Archangel.
yeah.
Land that taps 4 colorless, or you can pay 2, a white and a black, to give all your creatures lifelink dot touch during a turn.
Yep, you can come in for 3, play the land, have access to another flicker effect.
Yep. Now, Flicker Effect, not going to do much against the Bedlam Reveler, as you never want to use it to target that.
All I'm saying is if he's tapped down, go on that mill route.
That's entirely too cute.
I'm all about the cuteness.
But you're also fueling their graveyard.
Whatever.
Sure.
And he's just going to fire it off.
Yeah. And it's got the full discount. Oh yeah, no, that's pretty good.
No, Bolt, Thoughtseize, and Lily? It's a Lily.
Oh man, that's
Blink the Reveler. Come on, do it. I want you to do it. No!
okay. This has been kind of disgusting.
See? Twitch chat agrees. Or at least one person's on my plan here. Blink the Reveler.
Please don't encourage him.
I'm
Childless.
just saying. He'd be short a Bolt and a Thoughtseize, because Thoughtseize is relevant at this point, and Bolt is a Bolt. Alright? So he could have just, I'm just saying.
Sure.
Just saying.
Flashback to Slinging is all. Yeah, no. This
Trigger
is,
prowess. Yeah, no, he's fine.
He's
going. Nothing is going to happen. Like Lily staying in there. He doesn't have any manlands still, I think. No,
nope.
it's just all sadness.
With that Lightning Bolt in hand, like, I don't really know what Sebastian has to top deck. Mirren Crusader just does that bolt.
Well, no, Mirren Crusader just dies to Lily if he wants.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, Kirby's fine. Get the prowess trigger. Get the token.
Sebastian, however, not fine.
Nope.
And now Kirby's just like, can I get any more value? Crashing in there for 6, and yeah.
Yep. Nothing. I assume nothing. Maybe. What you doing? What you doing, little buddy? What you gonna do with that tap ball? Ah, he left in the Thought Knot. See, and look. I'm just saying. And then if Kirby, this was the other argument I was going to make, is like Kirby could just lose something, crack the Thought Knot with push, and be fine. I don't like leaving in the Thought Knots.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to be switching on over
To you.
to me versus Sebastian. I'm going to be playing humans, and he's going to be playing the same deck we just saw. So I'm even going to leave this here, and I've set all the names and everything correctly. So Kirby will be here in a second.
As you just ravage my Cheetos.
You know how to do it.
The Jalapy knows.
Don't be such the chatterbox, Harley.
I'm just Guess I'm gonna sit here and talk to myself, I guess. That was rough to watch.
That one against Sean, I super misplayed a few times, so I'm just need to get more familiar with the deck. But
One thing that Nathaniel and I were commenting on was, or Nathaniel noticed it, I would not have noticed this line, was you swung, I want to say 7 at Jace, and you could have cast Fatal Push on targeting your Bedlam Reveler to get another prowess in to kill that Jace that turn.
Oh, so I was thinking about it, and I thought I was going to have to target Young Pyro. I forgot. Yeah, I can just target anything. That would have been a really good line. Okay.
It's not a line I would have saw. There were 2 lines similar to that I clearly didn't see, but Nathaniel saw it and was commenting on it.
Yeah. So, good practice. All right, so let's move on to round number 5. We have Nathaniel finally getting to do some playing on humans against Sebastian. Let's head on over.
Tell you how much I love this deck.
It sounds like you don't love it too much.
I detest this deck.
Okay. Plus, they get a new toy from M19
From M. Night Shyamalan.
in Bugler. Let's bring that up real quick.
Is that the Anthem or is that the sack?
That is neither.
Oh, well, I'm try it. Oh, this guy.
This guy lets you
Yeah.
grab a majority of your deck. Mantis Rider is, I think, the only target you cannot choose.
I want to, yeah. Everything else is 2 or less. But I mean, they're so low on land count. There's no way. Like, it's pretty slim to none that you whiff on this. Like, you can look at the counts. There's 14 1-drops. Or not even the drops. Like, there's nothing in here that's got power.
You just minus the vials, minus the riders, and minus the lands. You got at least half the deck here. And it's also great for grabbing any of your sideboard cards.
Yep.
You get more hits at it. It's basically like the whole Ancient Stirrings things for colorless decks. You run a bunch of colorless cards in the sideboard.
And it's a 2/3 with vigilance.
Yeah.
Like
You
this
whiff,
card is gasoline
whatever,
for this,
it's fine.
This deck. Yeah, you're okay.
And it's a human.
Yeah.
But besides that, like with Bugler, this deck has just gotten even more like synergy focus. You don't have any fluff. Like everything works towards the end goal. You're trying to disrupt your opponent with Meddling Mage, with Kitesail Freebooter, with Thalia, and just doing the smackdown with Thalia's Lieutenant, Champion of the Parish, and Mantis Rider.
You're doing all the things you want to do in one deck. You're playing a little bit of control. You're playing your Stompy. You're playing your aggro.
It's a very tempo style deck.
And it does require some knowledge of the meta with Meddling Mage. Like, you might be able to Freebooter and know what's in their hand, know there's not really anything going on, but still be able to Meddling Mage priorities. Like, you just getting the knowledge from Freebooter, you're going to want a Meddling Mage, something that you're truly worried about. And if you know they can't deal with it, like, it's just going to sit there. Doesn't even have to attack. It can just sit there and be a stick that does nothing.
Okay. So let's head down to the match, and you can let them know they can get started.
That's up to you. I don't know how to do that thing.
You
Oh. Y'all can get started.
don't forget to turn it off. I've messed that up a couple times. All right. So Sebastian's going to start off with nothing. Just a land. Nothing special. And Nathaniel's going to be the first one to drop in either vial here. And that card matters a lot in this matchup. It's very interesting. Both decks are playing very similarly at the start of the game. They got their Aether Vial to flash things in. They have bits of disruption. Both run Thalia. One runs Tide Hollow Scholar while the other runs Kitesail Freebooter.
Strangler is pretty important too with the synergies on this. Reflecting. There's a lot of weird synergies that each deck's trying to do differently, and I think Humans does it more consistently.
So a very interesting play that Nathaniel does have, if he wants to, is... never mind. I was going to say he could Phantasmal Image in order to copy the Scholar and check out Sebastian's hand, but Sebastian's not going to allow that. So...
And then this turn, he hits his... Well, he doesn't really need to do anything yet.
Well, Nathaniel doesn't have a 2-drop, and he's able to just vial in his Champion of the Parish.
And Sebastian has the path. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that puts Sebastian in an interesting place if he wants to use the Wasteland Strangler. He's not going to be able to do so this turn because Nathaniel can just flash in the champion
Correct.
at end of turn.
Okay, so I don't like this play. Sebastian knows what's in Nathaniel's hand,
Mm-hmm.
so this is going to come in. It's going to be uncontested. I was going to say Nathaniel should tick up. There we go.
Mhm.
And Nathaniel's going to do what he wants this turn uncontested. That Pat's going to do nothing because Sebastian can't cast it.
Reflector Mage seems really good right now to bounce the Tide Hollow Sculler and allows him to get back the Phantasmal Image. And then Nathaniel can follow it up by playing the Phantasmal Image off of the Aether Vial and make another Reflector Mage as needed. Sebastian's thinking right now whether or not he wants to path the Reflector Mage.
He can't with the Thalia in play. Yep.
Yep.
And looks like he just realized it.
Now he can.
No, yeah. Now it's fine.
Nathaniel helped him out. And he's going to be swinging in for 3. And this is kind of the game plan that Humans wants to do. They want to get it down Champion of the Parish or Thalu's Lieutenant. That can just get very big, and it's hard for your opponent to do very much than chump block.
I mean, Sebastian does have access to, like, he has a spot removal, he has flickers, like, and so if he's doing this turn, why didn't he just do it instead of taking the 3 damage and keep your mana open?
Yeah, especially with Nathaniel tapping out and tapping his Aether Vial. And now he's going to be able to eat it for Wasteland Strangler to get rid of the Reflector Mage.
And the important thing was if he had done this on his end step, he could have cast that Vial this turn and have Vial in play, ticking up.
All right. Back on over to Nathaniel. He's going to play Bugler.
We'll see what he gets.
Do a little digging.
A little bugling.
He's got some good targets. He's got a Reflector Mage. He's got a Thalu's Lieutenant. He's going to go with the Lieutenant and build up his army.
I like that. I mean, you got to get more aggressive. And if you can get out of range for this deck... Oh, Mantis Rider.
Oh, yeah. In addition to Mantis Rider, pumping your team and just swinging in definitely sounds like the best plan. Just rearrange. And he's swinging in for 7.
Nathaniel having a lot of mana this game, too. The Ghost Quarters kind of just not going to do anything. Like, they don't run a whole lot of basics, but you can't just keep them off it like normal. And it looks like he drew Shalai for a turn, which isn't going to do a whole lot. It can chump the Mantis Rider?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, Nathaniel won't be able to swing in for a turn with the rest of his team, but that Mantis Rider will still be able to get in. I don't know. Maybe you just go ahead and swing in, because Sebastian's already down to 10.
Yeah. Just keep the pressure on. There's no reason not to.
Actually, forget what all Shalai has.
You have Shroud, and I think your creatures have Shroud?
Yeah, you Planeswalkers and creatures you control have Hexproof.
And then the rest of it's kind of not going to do anything.
4 double green, and he's not running any green in his deck.
No.
I was concerned it had lifelink for a moment. It's like, that's just too much.
Yeah, he's got a
score whiffs.
Play the Thalia.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked Shalai here.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess since Nathaniel only had 1 card left in hand, being able to Sculler it seems okay, but Sebastian just doesn't have a good defense. He has to chump block basically everything here.
Yeah, and Mantis Rider is going to come in for 4, like no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of has to do some exchanges. And there's nothing he can... Like, he can double block something to kill it.
Yeah, he can double block the Bugler, or he can double block the Phantasmal Image, which is no.
Image is a Reflector Mage.
Yeah, so it's a 3/4.
3/4.
Yeah, so he could double block that too.
Yeah.
But it feels bad. I don't know why Nathaniel chose not to kill both. Because it was 3 power, and they only had 3 toughness. So I don't know if that was intentional, or he just missed that.
Oh, and here's a Bugler. He's got plenty
This
of
card's really good.
Yeah. How many
I
does
think I
it
saw
run?
a
Does it run
reflector.
3?
It runs 3.
I mean, that card's pretty medium, but still, just being able to. Is it Goblin? Which is the Goblin does the same thing in Legacy? Matron? Does Matron check top 4?
Oh, Ringleader, you're thinking.
Ringleader, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's basically a mini Ringleader. It fits best in humans, but it's not necessary. It's a weenie
Yeah.
Ringleader, I guess.
It's a grab your weenie.
Yep. All right.
Yeah,
And
we're
Sebastian
done
scoops
here.
it up. All right. Let's move on over to sideboard. We'll get started with Sebastian. He doesn't run Bugler.
So Sebastian can definitely get away with worship in this and run away with the game if he can resolve it.
Yeah, especially since Nathaniel doesn't really have any good answers for that, unless...
I don't think he would spec on it. I do. I mean, Sebastian should definitely 100%. This should come in.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely brings in the pushes.
Yep.
This was an argument I had last game, was against you. I think Sebastian takes out the Thought Knots.
Mm-hmm.
If it hits early game, sure, whatever. You have a lot of card advantage that you can get away with.
Yeah.
Late game, if he hits it, it does nothing. And if you kill it, you just draw cards and get more value.
Mm-hmm.
With this, because it says leaves play, like, you can cast it, you can get rid of something, but if it gets Reflector Maged, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Thought Knot in general in these lists anymore.
Just a little slow.
It is slow. Like, this isn't Legacy where you can just consistently turn to it.
Mm-hmm.
And-
I like the synergy with Wasteland Strangler.
Yes.
But it's the fact that you're not playing Wasteland Strangler until at least turn 4.
Mm-hmm. So you have to slow. You have to, like, if you have the perfects, you could turn.
Yeah, unless you have the perfect.
If you have the perfects, it's different, obviously. And with Vials too, it's a little trickier to get the Displacer Thought Knot lock. If Nathaniel just has Vials in play, he can play around it. It's fine.
What are your thoughts on... So we're already going to be taking out 2 Thought Knot for 2 Fatal Push.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts of siding the other 2 out for something more aggressive like Mirren Crusader?
I don't hate Crusader, but I don't feel like it does enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like Pontiff in some ways. Pontiff might be too slow.
I don't feel it hits enough. Because
Prob-
it'll hit
no,
Noble Hierarch.
No, you're right.
It'll never hit Champion the Parish.
Yeah.
It might hit Athalia's Lieutenant, but it's already done its
So you
work.
take out 4 Thought Knot, you bring in 2 Push and a Worship.
Yeah, I like that.
The third card is a little different. Like, there's not really a lot of great cards to bring in. Like, Pontiff doesn't do a whole lot. Stoney's dead. Kataki doesn't do anything. Rest in Peace is worthless. Like, you could bring in a Selfless Spirit to try to get cute with some things. It is a flyer.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
But it's going to be on chump duty, if anything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's head on over to Nathaniel's list on humans. And
I actually don't know what Auric Champion does off the top of my head.
Auric Champion, that is the one that has pro-red, pro-black, and is a Soul Warden.
Oh, okay.
The image is probably messing with you. That's the... is it 25th? I'll bring it up real quick.
I don't
Iconic
rec-
Masters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You'd probably recognize the old image.
So anyway, with humans, you could. I don't think you bring in spirits. Staticaster is not terrible, but not great either.
It hits Thalia.
Yeah, you could do some cute combat tricks with it. Sin Collector's instant or sorcery.
Correct.
Not really a whole lot you can
So,
change up. Like, if you wanted to
no.
bring in Staticaster, you could.
Like, he could next level and bring in Rex Age and hit that worship, but it doesn't seem great.
That is true. If he wants to, if he's specking against it, he could do it. Just maybe even shut off Vials if he wants to.
Mm-hmm. But I think he needs to see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
That's more of a game
I could see
3
just
kind of play.
rerunning it as is.
Yeah, I wouldn't make any changes. You're fine.
Yeah. All right. So it
Looks
seems
they're
like they
already
got
going.
started.
Yeah.
So let's try to piece together where we are right here. We got
It looks like Noble got pushed and Mantis Rider got passed.
okay.
No, they're good. Okay.
So we didn't miss too much. Yeah. And with another land,
There's that thought
Sebastian
knot.
is
I think he's just too attached to it. Oh, but he's going to cast it.
Commander
maybe.
Root. Thank you for getting there. We appreciate the follow. And yeah, he had the land to be
I
able to
am
play
Root.
Thought Knot.
Ooh. Then there's the Rex Sage. Ah. Okay, so I don't hate taking the... Cause he's not going to get anything bigger anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian's hand's a little more aggressive. Rex Sage is maybe going to kill that Golem if he plays it with the... I mean, he has a Tide Hollow, and he has...
He's going to Thought
That's
Knot
a good
back.
top deck. And again, I'm just not a huge fan of Thought Knot in this match.
I think if you're able to slow him down, it's fine.
Strangler's pretty good. I feel like
Oh, yeah.
he doesn't have a whole lot of good picks.
So whichever he picks,
He's
Sebastian's going to be able to get rid of the Phantasmal Image. All right. And Nathaniel decides to go with
like
the...
getting rid of the Flicker Wisp.
I also like getting rid of the Flicker Wisp.
Strangler's going to do the same thing, but it's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Here we go. I do like-
Trixie.
yeah, I do like this play.
All right. So we're back over to Sebastian. Ooh,
Oh.
Displacer.
Oh, baby.
There we go. That's how you deal with these.
And if he blinks the image, he is going to get to draw another card.
Yep.
Blinking the mage, obviously going to do nothing.
And with Thought Knot plus Displacer, if Sebastian can just kind of grind out the next few turns,
He's going to be
he's just going to lock Nathaniel out.
just going to, as long as he knows to do it on after his draw. But then if he draws,
I don't like that. That was greedy.
that was really greedy. I think he was hoping to get the draw, but I'm still not a fan of that play.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Sebastian just needs to get through the next couple turns, and he might be able to take back over this game.
If he can get some form of spot removal against
Mhm.
the meddling mage too, he's also in the driver's seat to be able to just flicker wisp things with Displacer.
Yeah. All right. Get to see what Nathaniel is debating about.
It's a land. No, he's
Well,
going to come
first
in
he's
for
going to come
4.
in.
Yeah.
Hopefully Sebastian does not block for 5, actually.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why he swung in last turn, to try to... Oh,
Ooh.
so what you gonna name? Does he remember what's in his hand? Or is he gonna spec on path or push?
I'm guessing it's going to be Tide Hollow Sculler. Rexage also hits Tide Hollow Sculler, by the way.
That's
So
true.
Rexage
So he's got
has
something-
more and more targets for this
What is-
matchup.
He has it upside down, whatever it is. It's Flicker Wisp and something else. It might be... It's not Sculler.
No. I think it's the right time to hit that image.
Don't crash
I think
in.
you want to keep that back. Yeah, you are not in a
Ugh.
racing situation. I would also just go ahead and blink now. That way you can draw a land.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're back over to Nathaniel.
Crash in with the Rex Sage. And this is why you could have kept the Thought Knot back.
Yeah.
Instead of just taking the 3.
I hope Sebastian remembers the illusion clause.
Blade Splicer is the other named card.
I think he has a second Flicker Wisp in hand, too.
He does. Yeah.
No.
No, what? Why? What?
I don't know.
Okay, just have more
I
of them.
think he forgot about the claws.
There's another Displacer. That could have been a free card.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Daniel changing up his man a little bit. You know, on your
Sebastian's
post.
in the tank right now. Yeah, he definitely needs to target that Phantasmal image. Hopefully draw a land,
Just
and that'll
keep-
give him another
No,
blocker.
keep the... You could easily just keep... You're not racing him. Just keep
Yeah.
the Thought Knot back, use it on block duty, and, see...
Uh,
and this is such a waste. No, now
No.
you're both going to draw a card. And it's another Displacer. You could have just killed it for free.
yeah, Sebastian's not in a good spot right now. Like, he's still okay. Like, his guys, if he plays another Displacer, his guys are still bigger than Nathaniel's.
Mm-hmm.
But a single Thalia's Lieutenant can change the game around.
Yeah.
All right. I think Nathaniel drew an Ether Vial off of that draw, so nothing exciting. Yeah.
I just chump with the Displacer.
Well, it's not a chump. It would be a trade.
a trade.
I
just
would
take
trade.
it. That's fine too,
It'd
I
be
guess.
fine to trade.
Is
All
that
right.
a
He's
vault?
got another land.
Is it Vault? I can't tell.
Yeah, it's Vault.
Okay. Which I don't hate. He can activate it, can't he? Or is it 4 to activate?
It's 4 to activate. I do think he goes ahead and plays the other Displacer at this point. I don't like this. Like, he just sets himself up to die the next turn. Or maybe not necessarily die, but
I mean,
not be
you're
in an
a Reflector
advantageous...
Mage from getting
Exactly.
put to 2. There's a lot of bad that can happen.
Or a Lieutenant. A Lieutenant just wins. Because he blocks one of the 3 power after Lieutenant and swings in for 10. Oh, and Sebastian had to take a ping to play that, too.
Like, what could Nathaniel be holding that you want a Scholar? Like, what could he be slow rolling? I would have just played another Displacer. And he's short 1.
He was counting. Okay, going to swing in for 3.
And if that was a Displacer, we could just be trading right now.
Yeah. So I like keeping Scholar at this point. Because he can go ahead and blink Scholar during Nathaniel's draw step
Right.
to actually exile something. It doesn't work as well now that Nathaniel has an Ether Vial. But it still seems fine.
It's better than Thought Knotting, where you can make them draw an extra card.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and blink the Meddling Mage. Which is also fine.
I kind of... and this is what I was going to say. I kind of like blinking the other Meddling Mage. That way on your turn, if you draw 1 more land, you can double blink and swing in for potential lethal.
Mm-hmm.
And he drew another Temple, which gives him 2 Displacer activations.
Mm-hmm.
Or he could also activate
Yeah, I like...
Vault.
Oh, yeah.
He can activate Vault and swing in for 10 Death Touch Lifelink.
Mm-hmm. Which, yep, that's what he decides to do.
Which this feels pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And Nathaniel's not going to be able to take out both displacers either.
No, he's going to have to chump a little bit. He's going to gain 10, go all the way back up to 18, and it's going to be... Did I math wrong? It was 8, not 10. I did math wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nathaniel's not in a great spot right now.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, Sebastian got a little lucky with Nathaniel not having any good draws, and is just slowly able to grind it out.
I think that's a Reflector Mage.
It is.
And he's got another Displacer in hand, so that's going to stop him from doing anything there. He can come in for 6 if he wants, put him at 10. Or he can just crash in for 4.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Sebastian's in no hurry now. He can just keep activating Vault, swinging in, gaining life. Not this turn, but next turn he can double Displacer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now he definitely doesn't want a displacer.
There's another land. That's not terrible either.
So I guess we'll see what happens. Like if Nathaniel is holding maybe a Phantasmal Image, then it's really bad for Sebastian. Because that's a majority of his hand that he just can't cast due to Reflector Mage and Meddling Mage.
I don't know what else Sebastian has, but he could easily just... I mean, he can swing in, get rid of Reflector Mage now,
Mm-hmm.
and then double displace, only take 2 next turn.
Yeah.
And then he's...
But now he decides not to
He
attack
could have just...
in.
Yeah. Because then that would have given him the clear also to, on his next turn, just blink the other 2 idiots and crash. But now we're kind of just stuck here doing this again.
I don't like blinking the Meddling Mages here, because Nathaniel can name Displacer with one of them.
Yeah, and he knows there's 1 Displacer in hand,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't know
Unless-
there's 2. There's a push. That's not terrible.
So they're currently on Blade Splicer, and what was the other card? At least before the blink.
One more time.
Meddling Mage.
Melee
one
Mage
wa-
is on Flicker and Blade
Oh,
Splicer.
Flicker Wisp.
Because
Okay.
he's been slow rolling, or not slow rolling, but he's been locked on 2 Displacers in hand for a minute.
Yeah.
Or not Displacers, Flicker Wisps.
Yeah, it's probably not worth naming Displacer at that point then. Flicker Wisp is much more threatening, especially since you have Displacer plus the Flicker Wisp.
I don't hate pushing the Flicker Mage, and then,
Mm-hmm.
like...
Well, then he just gets to exile the Reflector Mage. Or actually, like, exiling the Aether Vial.
Just going to jam Displacers.
Okay.
Displacer's gone
Yeah,
wild.
that's fine. This could still turn sour very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I keep mentioning Thalia's Lieutenant off the top.
He could have Bugler Thalia's Lieutenant.
Ugh.
Ugh. Shudder.
Alright. Got one of those displacers off the board. And we're going to move back to Nathaniel. See what he gets.
He gets Sadness. Sadness resolves.
Yep. And Sebastian gets this one. Definitely a little lucky there.
So
And,
we know what they brought in, and Nathaniel maybe not even specking for worship, but going for the Rex Sage to deal with at least Sculler and...
Let me also fix this a little here. There we go. Alright. Still not used to operating this plus commentary at the same time. I'm pretty sure we haven't been using a round timer all night.
We did for you and Sean because
Yeah,
we got
that-
real close.
That was it was a little miserable.
That was a very long game.
parts.
Yeah, there were
Game
tons of times
one-
we were trying to just figure out who was in the driver's seat.
Yeah, game one was very back and forth. I felt there were situations where it's like, oh man, he's basically got this, and it's like, oh, look at that,
Yep.
got a Reveler, drew some more cards.
And then your game two, just him going for way more advantage versus like
Mhm.
attempting any kind of kill, and he's gonna wait till he's 100% clear to go for any kind of kill.
Yeah, that was also another misplay. I should have kept it with the Purge if I was going for the Blood Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I also
We-
just skipped my land drop because
Oh, we assumed that you were just trying to bait out the Purge with the Blood Moon.
no, I kind of wanted to slam it there. All right, so we're on to game 3.
Looks like Nathaniel's got kind of a slow hand. I see 3 lands. There's a Noble.
Nope, well, it's a good start. I believe Sebastian has 3 Tide Hollow Scholars.
Oh my god, he does. And 2 Stranglers.
Ooh.
This could get hot. Or it could get not.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't get Seer.
Yeah, this is going to set up Sebastian really well.
Pope? Yeah. What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Manus
Sebastian
Rider.
starts with the Manus Rider. Sebastian's like, okay, I'll take a few hits. And then he goes ahead, Scholar. Let's get rid of that
I think
Meddling
it's a-
Mage.
Yeah, Meddling Mage and Selfless
Ooh.
Spirit.
Okay. And yeah, that
Yeah,
he's going to be able to get rid of the Mage, then Wasteland Strangler, get rid of the Mantis Rider, and
No,
he has
he's got
Thalia's
He's got Lieutenant.
Mm.
So,
So now he has to make a decision here.
yeah, you take Lieutenant.
Mhm.
Nathaniel kind of has to spec on the Strangler. Like, I think that would be the safe play is to name Wasteland Strangler.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, this turn he's going to be able to play the Selfless Spirit and the Meddling Mage. So he's not worried about push. It's either Strangler or Path.
I'm really we'll know
Yeah, we'll
on
know.
Sebastian's turn what
Mhm.
he named. There's no way we're gonna know it. I think he's thinking. I think what you name is Strangler. There's honestly not a lot of good things you can name because, like you said, there's Path and there's Push. And is that another Thought Knot?
All right.
And did he name it? It looks like he did. Nope. There
Nope.
we go. Yep.
Gotcha.
And get a little
And
violin.
Sebastian is firmly in the driver's seat. Yeah, get in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he should be
Now
getting
I'm
in there,
curious
but
what Meddling Mage named.
the only awkward thing about Sebastian's hand now is Nathaniel's going to be able to run out everything in his hand.
Is that an image?
That's an image. So Thought Knot and Scholar just aren't going to do anything. I guess Nathaniel makes a Scholar of his own?
Yeah. He's gonna see the hand of double Sculler, double Thought Knot. This is another reason why I'm not a huge fan of Thought Knot in this match. Like,
Yeah, I could definitely see trimming at least a couple of them. And he's going to Scholar away the Scholar.
but him having access to that flyer, it's gonna make life a little rough. What says it?
And Sebastian just drew a land for turn. So he's kind of got a race, and it's not looking great. Because Nathaniel's hitting for 4 in the air due to
Yep, Thought Knot. And then this could swing really hard too if he just top decks a Reflector Mage.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get a free draw. Can't cast Thought Knot again. He already knows he's got another Thought Knot in hand.
Yeah, Sebastian's got to get in there with something.
He's on a 2-turn clock unless he has to find
Yeah.
a way to deal with that spirit.
Well, figure it this way. He's able to swing in with 2 creatures because Nathaniel swinging in with all and getting 1 blocked is the same as Selfless Spirit attacking by itself with Exalted.
So one thing that might come to bite Nathaniel is if, since he used
I
Sculler,
think that might have been a Reflector Mage.
I feel like he'd just snap play it if it was. But maybe he's thinking. Maybe it's yeah, there it is.
There we go.
That's what I was saying. Gets to
Ooh.
draw a free card. But so
Piece of candy.
piece of candy. What do you think about
Oof.
getting the vapors?
Oof.
Ooh, it's getting warm in here. What do you think about-
Oh, that is a Scholar. That is not a human.
Image is not a human.
Okay. And he's still just swinging 4 in the air.
So back to this.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Image not being a copy of Sculler? Being another Selfless Spirit? The reason I say this is he was very live a couple turns to just have a Strangler and get rid of that exiled card,
Mm-hmm.
if that were the case. It's a lot of Magical Christmas Land kind of thing. Like, he could have the perfects every time. And from him not firing off this push, I'm guessing Mage is on push.
I don't like Mage on push. I like Mage on path, if anything.
That's a
Because
Mantis
it's
Rider.
like inconvenience versus I
Ah,
have a solid answer.
There we go. Draw Step Sculler.
Yep.
But he still has this. Oh,
Well, he's probably waiting because if Nathaniel swings with Selfless Spirit alone, it's an easy target. If
unless it's on push.
Sebastian, if it's not on push, let's talk about that scenario real quick, and he hits Selfless Spirit right away, then Nathaniel knows to kind of swing in with the team.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to get Nathaniel in a situation where he only wants to swing with the Selfless Spirit. In the case that Meddling Mage is not on push.
Or he's trying to bluff whatever Mage isn't on. It could be path. It could be push.
Yeah.
It could be nothing.
Could be a boat.
You know how much we wanted one of those. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, crash it in.
And yeah, Sebastian's going to have to block everything and hope that the... Ooh, okay. So he is able to activate his Manland, do some blocking, and still Fatal Push if he's legally allowed.
Yeah, I'm still not certain if it's push.
All right. So
Good luck there.
he'll be gaining 2 back.
He'll still end up
1,
taking
2.
3, 4.
Blocks there, chump blocks, Reflector Mage, 1, 2, 3, but gains 2
He-
back. So
He might have to move the vent over to Reflecting Mage.
no, he can just chump block the Reflector Mage with Tide Hollow Sculler
Mm.
because he wants to block the image with the Shambling Vent so that he can get back the Sculler.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So I think he's still trying to figure it out. I don't know.
Oh, because he's going to push.
Okay, so he knew that Nathaniel was just going to sack that in response. All right. So Sebastian's down to 1.
Top deck worship. Go. You can't
That'll-
cast it.
Why can't he cast it?
He doesn't have 4 mana.
He does.
Oh, never mind. I'm just kidding. I'm blind.
JK, JK.
All right. Beyblade, let it rip.
He's debating if he wants to tick up that vial.
I would take it up to 3, Flicker Wisp. And, other nonsense that your deck does.
Mm-hmm.
Blades Placer. Your 2-for-1s. But don't need a vial when you top deck a worship. Alright, worship. That's not a worship. That's a push.
Push is fine.
It's okay. Look at all these thought knots, though.
So I would have liked Vial on 2 and hoped for the removal spell or Wasteland Strangler,
Mm-hmm.
because then you could Vial in the Tide Hollow Score that you got back from Image during draw step. But, well, that's the match. Nathaniel wins it 2-0.
I hate you so much.
It's a pretty good deck. All right, so let's take a look at our last match. It's going to be Nathaniel on Humans against Ricky on Burn. And what do you think? Burn have a decent matchup here?
I feel it's fine. You have,
Let's
you just don't
move
care
it
what they
over.
do for the most part. Just, bolt things, kill things.
Mhm. Couple Lavamancer in the main board is pretty good.
Yeah, having access to Lavamancer. I noticed they're going back to Skullcracks.
Mm-hmm.
I think they steered away and went with, was it Shard Volley?
I think some decks play like
It,
one.
it was pretty recently that I think a lot of the burn steered away from Skullcrack
Mm-hmm.
to go back on just, faster, lower burn spells instead of worrying about the what ifs on life gain. I mean, sideboard, he's got everything. Like, he could just bring in the bridges,
Mm-hmm.
the Searing Bloods if he
Yep.
really wants. I think the bridge alone is more than enough.
Mhm.
And that's also on Nathaniel maybe specking on it. Like,
Rex Sages are still okay because of Eidolon. But yeah, especially if he's specking that Bridge is going to come in, he's going to need Rex Sages.
which not all burn lists run it. I know, like, Legacy burn lists still run a couple of them, but
Mhm.
I don't know many modern burn lists that run 2 or more nowadays.
They're always very good when you have something like Eldrazi running around.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
I
they,
don't
can't,
know
they
that-
can't deal with it.
Yeah, I don't know that mostly the... Let's see. Is Eldrazi Tron any good right now in the meta?
It sees some play, but Green Tron is just better.
Mm-hmm.
E-Tron's kind of fallen to the wayside. Like, you can try to do cute things and have, like, the perfects, or you can have consistency.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna bring it on over to the match. If you want to let them know, they can get started.
You guys can get started. You say help or no?
I think he's trying to be cute. He's no Sean.
Oh, yeah. Don't know if we need it, but
Yeah.
it is good habit.
Yeah, we never remember that thing. There we go. Oh, round. Almost got everything. So close. All right, Corey, I need an adult. Need to change round 5 of 6 to 6 of 6.
Alright, for that one, this right here.
Ah,
So I see an
Thank you.
Eidolon, I see a Swift Spear, plenty of lands. I think maybe a guide, and Ricky, you being on the play, I think he's just,
there we go.
yeah, just going to crash in, get that one in. Searing Blaze is the all-star of this match.
Mm-hmm. Does he have one in hand?
I don't know.
He should.
Should always have one.
He should also play a land.
Wait, is that another Swift Spear? Why didn't he just play? Oh, he wants to just jam the Eidolon. That's fair.
That's fine.
That's very fair.
Nathaniel doesn't have a vial. Nathaniel does have double Mantis Rider, though.
Mm. He's going to take 2, poke in for 4, but Ricky... Actually, having these Swift Spears isn't going to matter too much unless he can... I think he has a Rift Bolt in hand. So he could hard cast Rift Bolt next turn.
Not exciting in the least.
No. I mean, it is a way to get rid of Mantis Rider, and Mantis Rider's a problem.
Yep.
But that will also get you... Oh, what are
What's
we doing?
Nathaniel's doing over here? All right.
So he's going to take 2.
Then a Thalia?
Thalia? Yeah. That's interesting.
All right. I think he's trying to make it so Swift Spear can't get through.
Yeah, and there's another, but he's not going to be able to... He could suspend the Rift Bolt now
Mm-hmm.
and just pay the tax on his upkeep. It's 1, doesn't matter that much. He could play Swift Spear now and suspend a Rift Bolt, get the triggers next turn. I can't tell if that other card is in hand. Maybe it's a Lavamancer.
Might be a Lavamancer. And if it is, he wants to jam that. There we
Yeah.
go. Then suspend.
Yeah. I know it's going to hurt him now, but I kind of like playing the other Swift Spear.
Yeah, because it's just a race to 0. Like, Ricky's not going to try to play the long game.
Yeah, next turn you can cast your Rift Bolt, and you'll have Lavamancer to also shoot something for 2.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like just throwing it out there now.
Do we see Nathaniel just swing with everything?
I don't see why not, but it's also kind of risky. Like, oh yeah, he wants to get that damage in now.
Like, Ricky would have to double block with Swift Spear and Eidolon if he wants to get rid of that Thalia.
I think he's okay just... Like, I don't hate losing the Eidolon here. It depends on his top deck, too. But next turn, he's going to cast his Rift Bolt. He's going to get a Prowess trigger off Swift Spear. And he's going to have Lavamancer to nug the Thalia. And he's just got a Perish left over.
I kind of like getting rid of the Eidolon here. Like, even though Ricky doesn't know that Nathaniel has another Mantis Rider in hand, I think that's going to be his only route to victory.
But that is more damage in a blocker if he had been able to jam that Swift Spear last turn.
Mm-hmm.
Just take it all? Alright.
Take it all.
He's going to fetch to 6. Take 2 from Rift Bolt to 4. Then if he doesn't kill Noble, I think he just dies next turn. Unless he top decks a Bolt or something to deal with Mantis Rider.
Yeah, he's leaving himself enough life to cast one more spell. And I don't think that's going to be enough.
Mm-mm.
Because say it's like a Boros Charm, then you have 3 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I know he has to get rid of the
He has to
the
take...
Mantis Rider so that he can actually swing in.
Ricky, you take 2. Yeah, Lavamancer, maybe shoot Thalia. And then... nothing's...
Yeah,
It's against another Eidolon in hand, and maybe that's a Searing Blaze?
if it
Which
is,
he's going to take himself down to 1.
Yeah, he's got a chance if that is.
He could take himself down to 1 and shoot before the Exalted trigger happens. That'd put Nathaniel to 5. It's a Swift Spear and something else. Oh, well,
No,
nothing that
scoops
matters.
it up. Yeah, I think it might have just been another Eidolon. All right. So, one in Nathaniel's favor. Let's head on over to sideboard. Start with Ricky. What do you like here?
So, and this is what we were talking about.
Mhm.
Like, I don't hate Searing Blood. He could definitely bring in the paths, and then Ensnaring Bridge. Ensnaring Bridge is gas. I think Nathaniel might have only a handful of cards to deal with it if he's specking on it.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Bridge a lot. You can just stand back and do nothing
Yeah.
the whole game. What you cut, maybe the Lava Spikes. Maybe
Or
the
the
Skull
Skull
Cracks.
Cracks.
Yeah.
I like cutting the Skull Cracks before the Lava Spikes in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. I could see either argument.
So, do you think just cut 4 of those, put in 2 Searing Blood, 2 Ensnaring Bridge?
That's probably okay. Searing Blood doesn't do much later just because it's only 2
Yeah.
damage, and a lot of the idiots have like 3 toughness. But if you can get rid of something early enough,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like Reflector Mage and Bugler aren't affected by it.
mm-mm.
So, all right. Let's head on over to humans. The Lavamancer is a human. It's not in this deck.
Sin Collector, 100%. I think needs to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Rex Sage, it depends on what Nathaniel's specking on.
Yeah, like it hits the Eidolons and it hits those bridges if he's expecting it.
Right.
Um,
There's an argument to bring it in just for Eidolon.
We're missing a big one. Auriok Champion.
Our champion, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too.
I like that better than the Sin Collector because he probably doesn't want to cut too much. But those are definite includes. Trying to think what.
Do you keep like Meddling Mage? Is there anything to?
I kind of like Freebooter over Meddling Mage for this matchup,
Mm-hmm.
though Meddling Mage can exchange with.
Eidolon or Goblin Guide.
Exactly.
Freebooter
So I don't
having
know.
flying's pretty nice, and having that like being a 1/2, like he can get bigger but
Mhm.
still be a flyer and be fine.
Yeah.
Um,
So that evasion to kind of get over a crowded board could be pretty good.
right. Obviously, I don't know the humans match enough, but I mean I feel like we said, Auric Champion, Sin
Mhm.
Collector can come in. Rex Sage 100% just depends on what Nathaniel knows or thinks he knows.
Mm-hmm. All right. If you want to let them know they can get started.
You guys are good to start. We'll have Ricky starting. Maybe he has the guide. Yeah, he has the guide start. Oh, it's Cavern.
Oh, everything's moving. All right. Nathaniel gets to start out with a turn 1 Champion of the Parish.
I see a Boris Charm. And it would just be gas if he. I mean, yeah, there it is.
There we
Searing
go.
Blaze. I would like Searing Blood would have been great too. Thalia. Yeah, Ricky's definitely in the driver's seat of this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a Swift Spear far left.
Yes. But if Nathaniel's going to be playing a Thalia, then Ricky's just going to have to play a land and
He
Lightning
could just,
Helix.
He could throw down that Eidolon. I don't hate that.
I like getting this Thalia off the board.
I think he does too.
Because that's going to let him follow up with Swift Spear and Boros Charm. Plus, if he decides to Eidolon this turn, Goblin Guide's not getting in.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
All right.
Maybe just Helix, go back up to 20. Crash in for 2.
Yep. Get in there. Thalia's Lieutenant. Yeah, with Nathaniel having one less creature, that Thalia's Lieutenant is not nearly as good. If he
Right.
had the Thalia out, then you're dealing with a 3/2 first striker.
Is this a Mantis or a Reflector? I don't like Reflector here, but I mean, it is what it is. You got to do
Mhm.
it. Yeah. And then he can crash in with that Swift Spear, and that's a Searing Blaze. I think he doesn't have the land.
That's all right now. Like, I think putting out the Eidolon and the Swift Spear at this point is probably good, and then just waiting on the land.
Mm-hmm.
And then he might be able to just finish it off with Boros Charm. Yep. Back on over to Nathaniel.
Another Reflector Mage.
Ugh.
I think he's got 2 in his hand. I see you leaning over trying to see it. Yeah, and he's going to take 2
Trigger.
from that.
Let's see what Ricky's got.
Needs another idol. He's got the guide.
Looks like, yeah, double Eidolon, Searing Blaze, Boros Charm.
He's pass.
I can't do anything else right now.
I don't hate playing the. Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can't do the other Eidolon.
Correct.
Right. Should probably just
They're
end
not-
step Boros Charm.
Reflector Mage would be a lot less good, and Magic would be a lot more complicated. No, it was this one you returned. All right. Man,
I
this
feel
is...
like he has to fire off the Boros Charm.
Do you?
I mean, he.
Because then he takes the Searing Blaze. Like, this is probably correct. Don't get me wrong. But if he ends up drawing a land for the Searing Blaze, then he gets to just Searing Blaze it back and get the Boros Charm.
Oh, and he can Meddling Mage the
The
Eidolons,
Eidolons.
and he's pretty safe now. But all Ricky needs is just 2 other burn spells,
Yeah.
and he's got a couple turns to do it.
Eidolon number 3?
I think it's a Searing Blaze. He's thinking.
He really doesn't want us to know. He's got to keep us in suspense. So Nathaniel has another Meddling Mage, but just would be guessing in the dark. He's thinking.
I mean, I think if you Meddling Mage, it's pretty safe to name Boros Charm, because that just insta-kills you. But Ricky would have also just fired it off.
Correct.
It's Searing Blaze.
Mm-hmm. So land Searing Blaze, kill the freebooter, get back Searing Blaze, to kill Nathaniel.
He could just Searing Blaze now for 1 and hope to hit like the Bolt or the Lava Spike or the Rift Bolt or anything like that.
No. You just wait.
Think you just wait?
Because if he draws a land, then he gets back the Searing Blaze and kills
Oh,
Nathaniel.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And if he draws a 1-mana burn spell, then yeah, you just go ahead, bolt you, and Searing Blaze you for 1. Okay, so Nathaniel decides not to play the Meddling Mage. All right, what you got there, Ricky?
He wasn't happy about whatever it was.
Wasn't a land. Wasn't a bolt. Probably wasn't a lava spike.
Probably wasn't an Eidolon. We'll never know. I know he's not happy about it.
Like, he's so close. He has so many live draws. And he's just going to be on chump duty. It is strange that he did... Oh, yeah, Meddling Mage is on Eidolon. Okay. Almost forgot that. So... Another Reflector Mage? Maybe? Sin Collector. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, this is going to get a little awkward.
Which I think you just have to fire off the Searing Blaze.
Yeah.
But at least we get to know what Ricky drew last turn.
I don't know why
That's-
he's
that's not
scooping right
15.
now. Because he goes ahead and
He fires off
searing-
the Searing Blaze, and Ricky, what's your top card? Nope.
No. All right. That tap land also would not have done the double Searing Blaze either, because it would have
No.
come in tap.
Yeah, that is
So,
correct.
Unfortunate. All right. So Nathaniel gets it 2-0 against Ricky. And that about does it for us for tonight. We saw various decks in the modern format. We saw your Hardened Affinity, which we weren't very impressed with.
Right, and I honestly, these have been. So my match against Sean, I told him about it. I had a double relic hand,
Mhm.
and I had to end up cracking them early just to try to find a green source because I
Yeah.
had green value enchantments, but nothing. I couldn't cast them.
Mm-hmm.
No opal, nothing else like that. And I actually don't think like the games I saw Hardened Scales. It was just I ran away with it.
Mhm.
But I didn't see Hardened Scales against Ricky either.
Just seemed a little. It definitely seemed slower than Affinity. Like you could grind things out a little bit more.
It gets bigger faster,
Mhm.
and you survive through more spot removal. The other thing is with Leap, your control match is generally better.
Mhm.
And there's tons of other, like, there's a lot of neat tricks you can do with the deck. I've been doing well with it online and on paper, but I just kind of flailed angrily tonight.
We saw some miracles. Plenty of platypi. Oh, yeah, you weren't in the booth. That's the plural for Terminus,
Oh,
so you know.
yeah.
Definitely saw a ton of board wipes out of Sean's deck.
Yeah, we jammed some games where I was on Jund, and it felt kind of. Oh, apparently, Nathaniel sequenced some things incorrectly.
Mm.
Nothing.
But yeah,
Just stay back there and look pretty.
So Pyro. Pyro's fun. I enjoy just filling up the graveyard, just discarding you out, draw some
Yeah.
cards.
I haven't had I have it, and I haven't had much experience playing it. But I watched Parnell play a lot at the Envy, and it like it's a different kind of thought process than your normal decks. Like it's grindier than Jund,
Yeah.
and you have to think more long term with a lot of your spells and your decision making.
Like you'll pitch some things early to Faithless Looting that it's like, no, I want to play that, but no, it's better in the yard right now.
Right, there was a time against Sean where you pitched Pyromancer and something else really early, and then you end up just getting it back with K command. Just end step, make you discard something. I'm going to get back Pyromancer anyway.
Yeah. So white black taxes. Unfortunately, Sebastian didn't have the greatest luck with it.
I think that
Today.
deck's kind of on going down a little bit. Everything's a little faster now, and online too. All the decks are more aggressive. They're faster. They just want to they want to beat these KCI decks before they can combo off.
Yeah.
Humans is just it can get out of hand fast, so you got to kind of keep that in check.
Mhm.
And then
Then
there's
we have Burn.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll be back next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Assuming nothing goes wrong. Playing something. Do we have a format? Maybe Legacy again? Legacy? All right. Consensus is Legacy. All right. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to be running a replay right after we close things out. So if you missed the first half of this, feel free to stick around and join us. But we will catch you next week. See ya.